unforgettable experience. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
Right.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Hype. Another special guest in the building, Dallas Cowboys reporter, Dani Sureck. Hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, we'll figure it out when we get on here. Sureck. Dani Sureck. I know.
So we're calling you Mrs. D today.
Hey. Yeah.
We like to party a little bit before we get going, Dani.
I like it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to let that beat ride out for a little bit. Y'all ready, Cowboys Nation? Y'all know how we do.
Yeah.
Late Night Hype. Welcome, Miss Dani Sureck. Did I say that right now?
Yes, you did. Good job.
You know what's crazy?
I like that.
I watched
And
plenty of videos.
you're terrible too, Law. I mean, Sky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you listen, I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with pronunciations. Everyone in the fan chats will tell you I'm terrible at it. But
That's okay. Everyone gets it wrong.
But I watched so many of your videos and things like that, and I was like, I'm gonna get it right. I know I'm gonna get it right when this comes on, and screwed it up, y'all.
That's okay.
But how you doing, Miss Dani? How's it going?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to talk football. It has felt like forever because it has been forever. So I am definitely looking forward to this and hanging out with y'all tonight.
That's because you ain't been on a Late Night Hype yet. That's why.
I know.
It's the Late Night Hype, Miss D.
Yeah.
How's it going,
on a
Law
Sunday,
Nation?
on a football Sunday, man. I'm
Yes.
doing
Sunday.
great. They say be on G because you know how it go. We're ready to go. We're
Yes,
ready
sir.
to
How's
get
it going,
this
big,
day.
Good.
big game,
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm with my dogs, and then I got Miss D here. It's a great day.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
nicknames here. So I think Miss D is kind of, or is the Miss? Does that age you?
fine. No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Just make sure. 'Cause
I'm
you
good
know-
with it.
All right.
Yeah.
So Miss D, I know you said you haven't talked football in a while, but that's what we do here. We talk tons of
excited.
football. And I know one of the things we are really excited about is the coaches coming in to the Cowboys land. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance to really talk to them, or is it just a virtual, interviews or what have you. But have you had a chance to speak with McCarthy or any other guys?
McCarthy has been doing not a lot, but the coaches like him have just kind of been doing some calls with the media. So, I mean, you're right. Not just the Cowboys, all the coaches in the NFL, they were allowed to go into the office Friday. I'm not sure how many of them went back on Friday specifically. I would think it'd be more likely they all start kind of trickling in probably this week. They've been doing all the virtual OTAs, and those will continue through the end of this week. So I'm not sure what the coach's plan specifically is about getting them all settled and back working into the office and everything like that. But it's a really good step that the coaches are allowed to be back at the Star, and it kind of gets you excited, like, okay, like maybe we could actually really have football this fall.
Yeah, I made a video about that, and we'll talk about it later with the fans in the chat here about who was our favorite, or what coach are we most excited to see come in. What would be your coach or coaches?
That's a good
Put you on the
question.
spot a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Spot check.
Okay, and this is not, of course, I really am excited about this new coaching staff, and I was really excited and surprised when they hired Mike McCarthy. I'm sure you guys saw that video, not really a documentary, I guess maybe like a documentary
Oh, that was
episode
awesome.
about him, spending that year off of coaching and really diving into the analytics and staying active on what teams were doing. And this might be partially because of watching All or Nothing, but I'm really excited for John Fossil with special teams. I mean,
Bones.
he just seems like such a cool guy to talk with. And that was also an area of really great need for the Cowboys this offseason after last year. And so that plays a large part into why I'm excited. But I think he's just a guy I'm excited to kind of be around and feel like his energy and, vibe off someone who just seems so nice and just so like genuine about caring for his job with football. And so that's my answer. John Fossil.
John, I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at it there
That's a
either,
good one.
especially last year we was ranked bottom half in special teams, and it's 3 phases of football. And I think that right now addressing that area is very important. And I think that the Cowboys did a great deal of picking him up this offseason as well.
Yeah, I agree on that for sure.
Indeed.
All right, I want to jump right into Dak. Miss D.
I knew that was coming.
You know I ain't playing around. I ain't playing around with it. So, I mean, we see what the contract negotiations are ongoing. We know the deadline is coming up right around the corner. In your opinion, what's kind of your thoughts on the Dak situation with the contract? Do you think he's going to sign long-term before that July 15th date, or do you think he's going to sign on the tag? What's your kind of feelings with this, and what's your kind of thoughts about him being the franchise for the future?
I'm going to start with the back end because I feel like that's the important part that people want to hear, right? Because they have their set opinion on whether or not they believe he really is a franchise quarterback. I'm going to tell you that he is. Okay, when you look at the numbers, he hasn't missed a game in 4 years, and he has elevated his team. He has showed up late in the games. He can throw and he can run. I don't understand, I guess, why people don't see that. I think now in terms of when you start looking at setting the market and paying a quarterback, people start looking at Super Bowls and titles. And that's just realistically not how we pay quarterbacks. And so I do think he is a franchise quarterback. I'm going to state that at the back end. And then going to the front end of the question, that July 15th date, if he doesn't get a new contract before then the Cowboys can't extend him during the season. They'd have to wait all year and he becomes a free agent. And I think that is the last thing the Cowboys want. Every year, the market's going to rise. You're going to have to pay him more and more. So I think that they will come to an agreement. I think that they will find a deal for him. And what's kind of been the talks around it is not been so much about the money or the guaranteed money, but it's been about the years of the contract, right? We've been seeing reports that Dak wants more of a 4-year deal and the Cowboys are pushing for more of a 5, but Dak wants 4 years because then you can reassess the market and make more money. But it also comes into play the TV contracts, all these big networks, they're going to have to start renegotiating their contracts within the next 3 or so years, which is going to affect, how much money the teams are getting and the cap space. And so that's would allow him to get more money if he has a shorter deal. So I'm not sure where they are in terms of right now of standing of how much closer they are to getting a new deal done. That July 15th date is a little scary.
Yes,
I would hope that Dak would sign the franchise tag. But I'm just hoping that they get a deal done before then because I am definitely Team Dak. I do think he is a franchise quarterback, and I think he's going to be the good quarterback that they need for at least these next 4 or 5 years, however long this contract is going to be. And I think that he's proven that in his play.
I have a theory, and tell me if you've ever thought about this. Because of COVID, these guys aren't able to have OTAs, mini camps, and things like that to come into the building. Where, in my opinion, that's kind of a soft deadline because new coaching staff, a little bit of a new playbook. You want your quarterback in there with this new coach. Do you think if there wasn't a COVID situation that this could have been wrapped up a little bit earlier, or is this just deeper than a soft deadline and they're really pushing this thing towards a July 15th type of deal, 11th hour type of deal, I should say?
I don't know how much COVID would play a role into this. I would almost, we haven't gotten like a finite answer of if Dak has been on these virtual meetings, right? The coaches have said, we're not going to get into a head count, of players who have been logging in and whatnot. I would almost kind of think maybe opposite, like because everything is virtual right now, maybe that would be more of a reason for Dak to log on and, participate in this virtual OTA and all of these meetings. Whereas if it were in person, that's typically what we see from players of all positions around the league is if you're waiting for a new deal, you're not showing up and you're not participating. So assuming that Dak is participating in these virtual meetings, I would almost think maybe this pandemic forcing everyone to kind of stay inside may have pushed him to do that. Whereas if it were a normal off season, I don't think we probably would have seen him around the star at all unless he had a new contract.
That's what's funny, guys.
That is crazy, but
that's
everything
crazy.
Because Dak is usually that guy.
Yeah, everything of 2019 expressed the Cowboys' concern of Dak Prescott. His market value at the time was $20 to $22 million at the end of 2018, and they allowed Dak Prescott to bet on himself, and he ultimately won. Although we didn't go far in the playoff, we didn't make it to the playoff, or what have you. This is something that the Jerry Wayne Jones's administration need to go ahead and do. Is go ahead and pay that guy, because if not, if I'm Dak Prescott, no way I will play on that franchise tag. I'm sorry, I just won't do it.
But he is, right?
Come on, Law. He's going to play on the tag now.
If the push came to shove,
play on that tag.
I'm not saying he's going. I'm not saying he's going to play on the tag. I'm saying if push came to shove, Danny, he's not going to sit out, right?
No.
I would.
He got at least threatened.
I would hope not. At least from the interactions I've had around Dak Prescott in the locker room. And I know Cedrick Wilson was talking about this when he was on with you guys the other night about who Dak is as a leader. Like, he genuinely loves football and is a highly respected man in that locker room. So I would like to think that he will, if it comes down to signing the tag or not, that he would sign the tag and he would play. But I have to be honest, and this has really kind of changed the last couple of years when I've been working for an NFL team. This is a business. And as much as the fans would hate it, I mean, you have to understand that just as much as the Cowboys see this as a business deal, the players have to see that as well. And they have to bet on themselves, and they're putting their bodies on the line every week, and you don't know what their future holds. And he's proven his capabilities on the field. So you can't really blame a guy, you know, when people are saying he's so selfish, he should just sign, look at all this guarantee. It's so much more than that. And just as much as we say it's a business deal with all of these front offices and executives, it's the same on the other end with the players. And so I think you have to respect that and understand where they are coming from as well.
Yeah, make good points.
That's totally real, because just like you said, Danny, this NFL, they always say not for long. These guys, NFL's careers is still around 3 to 4 years is on the norm. So they got to get their money while they can. We from the outside looking in like, oh, just sign that. You hadn't made this kind of money. This is good money. But in the NFL, this is different money. It's like if you're sitting out, if you're working out a job, are you going to sell yourself short and get underpaid just because you want to make the team better? I mean, come on now. If you put in the work, you deserve to get paid.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Yeah, and so you're in that. Well, I shouldn't say you're in the locker room, but you know the guys in the locker room. You've been in the locker room. You kind of briefly touched on you know his worth to those guys, but how, can you a little bit go in on that a little bit? How his leadership in there, how the guys kind of rally around him, because we had PT Philip Tanner on, and they talked about how he talked about how Dak is just loved in that locker room. Do you see that same thing as a reporter when you're in there?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, when you go in there in the locker room, the setup is when the media goes in. During the season, we go in almost every day, and that's our time to get the media scrims. And you walk in, it's basically a long rectangle, and you've got lockers on both sides. And you'll see him talking with players all along the locker room. It's not like he's just got his core group of guys. I mean, he really does seem to connect with all of the different players. And I would imagine that it's not an easy task to be QB1 of the Dallas Cowboys. And he seems to still have that great head on his shoulders, and to be humbled when he talks to us, and when he talks to us off the camera, and is just having conversations with us. And I think what's so important, especially as a quarterback, is not only having the respect in the locker room, which he does. A lot of those players look up to, you look up to your main veterans. You look up to the Travis Fredericks and the Zach Martins and the Sean Lees and Dak Prescott. And I think too, we've seen what kind of leader he is within the last week of donating $1 million to social reform. And I just think that when you look at the qualities he has off the field and the relationships that he has with his players, with his teammates, I think that is also exactly what you look for in a quarterback. And I think that really helps him as he's starting to fight for that new deal.
Yeah. Amazing timing from him, because there was people, and to me, it's a touchy subject, but to me, telling someone to come out and speak on something when you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. I was telling one of my guys, I said, hey man, you don't know what Dak is doing behind the scenes. So condemning him right now is silly. This whole thing is still fresh. And then boom, it came out that, he's donating to, education and police training and things like that. And if that didn't stamp it, guys, that he is just the franchise, I don't know what else can. I don't know what else.
It's just that the organization need to see it in that fashion. You don't go buy a Porsche and you park it outside. You got to figure out a way, especially when you have open space available in your garage. The Dallas Cowboys organization need to value that Porsche and park it inside and cover it and secure it. And by them waiting for the deadline to make deals, I just don't think that that's the natural and the right flow of things. I don't know any other organization that does that though.
Oh.
It's just interesting. We've heard for the last year plus even Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, we've heard from the front office that they believe Dak Prescott is their quarterback. So now it's just coming down to that agreement. And so that's why I think that we will see a new deal before that July 15th deadline.
I have a question, kind of not about Dak, but in a similar situation. So you were around the team in the locker room during the Zeke, contract situation. And can you touch a little bit on that last year? And have you spoken with Zeke lately? I know you spoke with him before during obviously other seasons. But how was that last year? Was it similar or is it a little bit different because of the COVID? You haven't been around the guys.
Yeah, I think that's why it's different is we haven't been in the facility. We haven't been out at practices. We haven't been talking to players and coaches and seeing the way that the coaches are making up for not having that player on the field. That was wild though when Zeke showed up for the first time because he did not go to training camp. So that was leading up to, he wasn't there in the off season in the facility, OTAs, mini camps. He was waiting out that new contract. And then when we found out that he was not on the plane for training camp, it was like, okay, like this is serious. It's real. And so that was obviously the talk of everything throughout training camp. And then they get back from Oxnard, California, and they're finishing out training camp at the Star in Frisco and we're inching closer and closer to preseason and the season. And then when he does finally come, we normally do media scrums in the locker room. Not enough room. We had to do what we do when we get further along in the playoffs, we start having more national media come in. We're out in the hallway and they brought him a pedestal to stand on so that all the cameras could see over the reporters' heads. And it was easily 50 people like crammed over him, like in this hallway, just asking him all these questions. And it was very exciting also talking to all the players who were excited to have him back. So it's been different with this Dak situation because the players haven't been at the Star and we haven't been at the Star to see how things are kind of going and to see how the teams are adjusting without a player on the field.
Well, get ready for that scrum again once Dak's contract.
Whole bunch of scrum coming.
Crazy.
Whole bunch of scrum. But I mean, if you look at it, Ms. D, if you look at it though, look how they done all their negotiations. They did it with Zeke. They did it with Tank. They did it with Zach Martin. I mean, this is kind of like the norm. How Des Bryant, they did it at the last minute. It's like kind of like they say, we don't want to set the record. We don't want to break the mark. And then they set the mark 2 months ago. So it's kind of like, this is kind of like the norm in Dallas. This is not something that's out of the ordinary. So let's just get this done because at the end of the day, I want to ask your thoughts on the free agency with the guys that they have brought in because they have brought in people that Cowboys haven't seen in a very long time. We actually got Fat Boy. We actually got a defensive line.
We're waiting for you to interview these guys.
Especially Alden Smith.
We want to hear what they got to say because James McCoy. We want to get McCoy on because he is very opinionated and a big personality. Have you guys been able to talk to any of them?
I personally haven't been able to talk to them because we haven't been there. I know they've hopped on some of the podcasts and stuff on DallasCowboys.com, but you're right. I mean, even seeing those selfie videos of Gerald McCoy draft weekend because he went to Oklahoma. So when he was decked out in his Sooners gear and the Cowboys got CeeDee Lamb and they got Neville Gallimore, I mean, I didn't even go to Oklahoma. And I was like, yes, another Sooner. Like I was just as excited as he was because his video was that much fun. I'm so excited to get to meet these new personalities.
I bet, man. I bet. So when I told you before the show, we had Brianna Dix on here and had asked her who was some of her favorite people to interview in there. And the one I wanted to know was who was the most funniest person in the locker room?
She said anyone other than Joe Looney.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yep. What it was, Joe Looney.
Joe. Yep.
He is such a treasure. Yeah. I mean, he is so, and even like seeing him when you're not in there with cameras, like walking around the facility, or I've even seen him at Texas high school football game, like out there with his kids. Like he is so nice and so funny. Like he walks past you and you're suddenly like, oh my gosh, like I have a smile and I'm so happy. And I mean, like one time I remember this, we were interviewing the players right before their bye week. This was 2 years ago. And we were all kind of asking, what's your plan? What you can do? And he was saying, I'm going to hang out with my kids. They love when I walk in and I act like an animal. And we're like, well, what do you imitate? He literally just starts like quacking like a duck and doing all these different animal noises. And it is just like, he is so fantastic to be around. He is definitely, I'm so glad that the Cowboys decided to sign him and keep him around. I'm very, very excited to be back around him.
Yeah, you think he got a strong chance to be the starter there?
I think right now, yes. I think there'll be competition in training camp and just kind of seeing where some of the new guys fit so far. And I think it's also going to be really different in years past because we haven't had these in-person OTAs and mini camps. And while these players are still conditioning and they are working out and they're preparing on their own, they're not playing football together. They're not doing this at the Star together like they're used to. So I think we're going to see with a lot of players is more of a gradual increase in productivity throughout the season, maybe a little longer than we're used to seeing. We're probably going to see some of these starters play preseason games, right? Like we never see starters play past a couple snaps, maybe half a game in the third preseason game, right? They don't play in the, I think it's going to be a little different this year. I think Joe Looney will be the starter, but I think things could kind of be up in the air as people start to find their groove later in the season.
Yeah, when we talked to Worley, one of the things I pointed out was that, hey, you're an experienced veteran. Is that something that gives you a leg up because of the COVID situation where these young guys and rookies and guys fighting to be starters, they need all the reps they can get? And honestly, I don't know if they're going to get them off the bat because we got to get prepared to play week 1 right now, right? Unless they push the season back, but we got to get ready to play right now. So I don't know if they're going to be able to mess around with those reps with the young guys.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think you're going to have to try and prioritize very differently this year. And I'm not saying that it's not a priority to get these rookies or these new Cowboys reps. That is very important too. We're going to have to look out and see if injuries increase because they might not have a normal offseason like they're used to. So those reps are definitely important, but I agree. I think they're going to have to prioritize probably a little differently this year than in years past because this is all just so new.
Unprecedented situation, right?
Yeah.
I had said that last week that I was worried about the injury thing, Ms. D, because everything is so rushed. And it's just like, and you mentioned on a couple of things, the guys aren't in camp, the guys aren't around each other. And even though you're training outside and pulling, weights on your waist and people seeing out in your yard, it's not like the regular training that you with the NFL. And that's what I worry about across the board with these injuries, because, it's just like when you're holding out. A lot of times when you see these guys hold out and then they get to camp, what's the first thing you see what happened to them? Pulled hamstring, hurt ankle. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about as a whole is the injury thing. But I want to ask you one other thing. We keep on hearing about the Jamal Adams. We keep on hearing it's still in the air. What's your kind of feelings on Jamal Adams? And do you think, now I want to throw this out to you.
I'm listening, D.
Let's say that the New York Jets during the middle of the year, like they were last year, 7 games in, they're playing terrible. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys will make a ploy then because the Jets will be more open to trade because now you're in a losing season, you want to get picks like the Raiders did? Do you think the Cowboys would jump at it then, if anything?
I don't know yet. I don't want to, say a hard yes or no because we're not at that point. I will say that if you would have asked me that maybe a couple years ago, you say no. I think we just don't know what could happen after seeing them trade the 2019 first-round draft pick to Oakland for Amari Cooper when they were struggling on offense and the way he just immediately turned the entire season around for the Cowboys. I think that we're just going to have to see the rookies and the free agents and the defensive backs that the Cowboys have added to their roster. We're just going to have to see how they play and how they play with the new coaching staff before the Cowboys are going to be willing to go trade a first-round pick for Jamal Adams. Look, I like the way he plays. I grew up a Dallas Stars fan. He's got a huge Dallas Stars Stars tattoo on his leg. Like, I'm sure that we would get along, right? I'm not saying I don't want Jamal Adams. I'm saying that the Cowboys are going to be smart about this, right? I was so sad when somehow the rumors started swirling around a couple weeks ago of, oh my gosh, Michael Gallup. We were kind of talking before this about not just the funniest guy in the locker room, but like maybe your favorite person interview. And he is right up there for me. And so when I was seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, no, not possible.
Oh, that was ridiculous. I don't mean to interrupt you, but some guy in New York floated the idea out, and it just caught fire for whatever reason. Ridiculous. We're not trading Michael Gallup. And I love Jamal Adams, but no.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to see how the new players pan out before they're going to want to make a decision. And that might be why we haven't seen any new news about a possible trade or anything with Jamal Adams.
That's fair.
But everything we saw about this defense last year changed because the only person we kept was Leon Lett as a position coach. Position coach, and everything else has changed. So it may be that the people that's here already can step it up, and we won't even need a Jamal Adams.
Yeah, you need Jamal Adams. Don't do that. Don't you even do that, Law. We need a Jamal Adams. He's a difference maker.
I just got a memo.
I can imagine the comments right now.
No, there's people actually that agree with you, but I had a memo from a very important person in Dallas that said, because you didn't say we need Jamal, this is what he told me to tell you.
Don't like your attitude.
Yeah. I was hoping you would say we need him.
No, I'm not saying that he would not be an incredible asset to this team. Of course he would. Yeah, he would. I'm just saying I don't know that that's going to be a priority. I think the Cowboys want to see the new players pan out, see what they can do with this coaching staff. But if we get to the point in the season where they don't feel happy, I now would believe that anything is possible after seeing them trade that first-round pick for Amari Cooper. If they think that Jamal Adams is that missing piece, and this has been a player they've been thinking of for at one point last season as well, and if they're still thinking about him then, maybe they pull the trigger and they get Jamal Adams. We will see.
I tell you what.
Hey, are you familiar with the new strength and conditioning coach? Don't we have that now with the Cowboys?
Marcus Paul?
There's a new one.
I'm seeing him on the Cowboys network there. Do we have a new guy? So it may be a different situation with that as well when we was talking about the hamstrings and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot of preventative measures right off the bat, figuring out how in shape guys are and taking it slowly. And again, this is all going to be different, not even just because they haven't had workouts, but they are now going to have their entire training camp in Frisco. They've been going to Oxnard for more than a decade, right? Because the weather is so much cooler. However, the Cowboys have one grass field. Right. The indoor facility is all turf. And then outside they've got a turf and a grass field. You're going to have to practice on the grass. So it's just going to be a lot of hydration and figuring out a schedule. But I think it's going to be a lot of preventative measures as the season will approach once the players are back out there practicing.
I kind of want to jump back to the safeties right quick because something popped in my head. I'm a big, I don't want to say big fan of Clint Dix, but I do like the signing. But there's the other safety. I don't know. When you're around Xavier Woods, or I don't know how many interviews he does with you guys, but does he come off that he has this big chip on his shoulder? Because I think he needs to have one. We've been trying to trade for Jamal Adams, Earl Thomas. The fans have been screaming to draft a safety. When you're around him in the locker room, does he come off kind of edgy, like Orlando Scandrick? They used to call Orlando Scandrick the Grouch, because he played with a chip on his shoulder.
But he was straight a grouch.
Yeah.
So I was not there for Scandrick, so I'm not going to comment on him. When I've talked to Xavier Woods, he hasn't been rude or off-putting to me when I've asked him for interviews.
I don't mean to be rude.
He's done that. I would believe no. I would believe that probably players like him and others would have a chip on their shoulder, right? If you're seeing the type of players that the Cowboys are signing or drafting. But I also think that's during the year. Just because you're a starter doesn't mean you're not competing for your spot every week. And I think that's the mentality a lot of these players have throughout the season is I have to get better every week. Their competition are their teammates, right down them in the locker room. So I would think that you probably would have a chip on your shoulder, yes, after seeing the signings, but also, I mean, it's not like they couldn't have replaced Jeff Heath, right? So,
Lord have mercy.
That for years,
I ain't hating on Heath, but good Lord.
Good Lord, boy.
You said something very important there. You said competition. And we have a theory here that, yes, there was competition that the coaches told you about, but then there was Jeff Heath stayed the starting safety for 3 years. So how much really was it? Was it really a competition? But we feel like new coaching staff, literally almost entirely 100% new coaching staff. Only 2 guys or 3 guys I think were kept over from the last regime. So these guys have no ties to the previous incumbent players. So I really think that the competition that you talked about is real now, as opposed to the previous years.
Absolutely. And that goes for the entire facility. I mean, you're looking at the coaches that they brought in, those coaches who were hired under Mike McCarthy. They've got to prove themselves as well. You look at the scouting department. The scouting department is now having to work with new coaches. And I mean, after looking at the draft, I would think that they did prove themselves, right? But it's everyone is having to prove themselves to this new regime under Mike McCarthy, and the players absolutely are included in that. I mean, the coaches, they look at tape, and when they're on our teams, they obviously know about the players on the team that they're now going to be coaching. But absolutely, when you start having those first few practices, if training camp is the first time the players are back out there, then training camp, those first few practices are going to be really important for making those first impressions under this new coaching staff.
Indeed. See, so she agrees with us in regards to this competition thing. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, competition
is good for everyone.
Yeah, it is.
We just think it's real competition now.
It's real competition now because it seems
Yes.
like it was a fixed fight before. Feels like that you was going out there to box, but at the end of the day, you was taking a dive.
Yes.
It'll definitely be different than the last couple of years since it's almost an entirely clean slate.
Yep.
Got a question from one of the commenters. Was a donation. He said, which player does she think is going to surprise us in 2020?
Like a breakout player?
I guess, yeah. I mean, he's just asked what player is going to surprise us. It could be breakout. It could be somebody off the radar.
It could be CeeDee Lamb,
And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I want her opinions on that whole situation, how that happened, how that came down.
I'm not going to say CeeDee Lamb because that's a very obvious answer, right?
That's not a surprise.
Not a surprise. No. I'm going to go actually on the other side of the ball. I'm going to go defense, and I'm going to say linebacker Luke Gifford.
Ooh. Number 57.
Oh, I got a sound effect.
She got a sound.
You got the bomb drop.
Bombs like Hiroshima.
Me and James thought that he was doing a great thing last year during training camp.
Oh my gosh.
Oxnard.
He had a great training camp. The staff really liked him, and he had a really great preseason game. He had like an interception and a tackle and a pass breakup, and then he had a high ankle sprain. Okay, so he's out, right? So he comes back. He has some good games. He really focuses on special teams to get back into it. He hurt his arm. I think he broke his forearm or something. It was just really bad luck that first year. Yeah. And while the coaching staff is different, you would think that, around the league, if a coach knows a good player, right? Yeah, so I would think that having this clean slate, assuming he doesn't have any injuries and he's ready to go, that's a player that I'm excited to see. Luke Gifford. That's my surprise player.
I like that. It was worthy of a bomb drop.
Yes.
Because we none of us was thinking that one.
Really?
No. I had people in my feed saying Alden Smith.
Yeah, I had Xavier Woods. Somebody popped up.
Bradley
Reggie
Robinson.
Bradley yeah, but
I like that.
Before I forget, guys, let's if you got questions on the draft, I kind of want to ask some of your questions on the draft because again, I'll have to ask this because with the virtual stuff and with the COVID, I don't know if you've interviewed all these people or if you've talked to them or if you've sat in on media virtual interviews or whatnot. But before we get into the whole draft, we did a draft show during the first round, and it was amazing. We had so much fun, but we did not think that CeeDee Lamb was going to fall. So yeah, as it was happening, the anticipation was growing. How was it for you personally, or professionally and personally, How was it for you when the CeeDee Lamb pick was coming, and then when it came, were you excited? Were you shocked? Like, what were you thinking there?
Everything.
Yeah.
So I was watching on my couch. We were doing a couple draft shows. So the way it was, I was watching, and basically as soon as our pick was made, it was run upstairs, get ready, get my notes together, start our show. So I'm watching the draft, and in the beginning, I'm like, okay, great. Like Ohio State, this is their next recruiting video. They're just going to show the draft. And we start getting down, and leading up to the draft, I had pushed for a pass rush.
Chase,
right? I was Kayvon Chason out of LSU. That was who I thought they were going to take. I thought if they were going to merge away from that idea, it was going to be a defensive back. It was going to be another safety or cornerback. I wasn't the only one who didn't think the Cowboys were going to get CeeDee Lamb. They, on all of their mock drafts, not once did they even have him as an option falling to them at 17. So when it gets to the Cowboys at 17, I was like, oh my gosh, Kayvon Chason is still here, but so is CeeDee Lamb. Like, how is that even possible? And so I'm saying that, and I'm like, we need a pass rush on the right side of the defensive line. Alden Smith was not reinstated at that point. We still haven't heard about Randy Gregory. Tyron Crawford is coming off 2 hip surgeries. I'm thinking, hello, that is a big gap. But then it's CeeDee Lamb.
But it's CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, exactly.
This is what the fans have pushed for every year.
Right.
Best player available.
Ooh,
that is what the Cowboys did. And after the loss of Randall Cobb to free agency, I was like, I had goosebumps. My jaw dropped when I saw CeeDee Lamb pop up on my TV screen. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my God.
He was going
listen,
nutty.
Listen.
He was going
whenever
nutty
you get
on
a
the
chance,
show.
it's deep down into our YouTube here, but go look at the first day of our draft coverage. I lost my damn mind. I lost my damn mind.
And the rest of the world.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Now it's funny because you said the Cowboys didn't mock him, but James, they must didn't go on fans. What did we do?
They didn't check us out.
They didn't check us out.
Miss D, you didn't check us out. It was
a surprise type
draft. It was a surprise mock, and Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, and Kayvon Chason have fell. And it was right before we did our live draft. And I texted the guys, I was like, hey, I just did a mock draft and CeeDee Lamb was available.
So you didn't even have the Cowboys trade up.
Yeah. I was like, no, this was a regular, it was like a regular mock draft. And I said, I'm taking him. I said, oh, shoot. And then we had our live draft. We picked Trevin Diggs. And we also picked Reggie Robinson in our draft.
And we
look at you guys.
I'm just saying, we
on the
about
money.
that life, Danny. We about that life, Danny. We about that life over here.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the rest of the draft, though?
I was impressed. I couldn't believe that Diggs was there for them. I liked the pick of Neville Gallimore. With the signings of Don Terry Poe and Gerald McCoy, we're going to see a much different type of defensive tackle under new defensive coordinator Mike Nolan than what we were seeing with Rod Marinelli. Marinelli really liked those smaller defensive tackles, and we've already seen with these 3 alone, they like those bigger defensive tackles and going to stop the run. And so I'm excited to have Gallimore here. I think it's exciting for McCoy to have a Sooner with him in the position room.
Yeah.
Reggie Robinson, the defensive backs. I think the Cowboys really did a nice job with this draft. I really do. I think they got all of the right positions.
A lot of value
tackled in this. Yes.
A lot of value. My favorite pick value-wise was Anai. I'm not sure if you did
defensive end.
Yeah. Have you done any digging on him or able to speak with him or what have you?
I have not been able to speak with him. The first couple of rounds that night, the Cowboys media, we had phone interviews. All the media on, so we were able to have a scrum that way. I wasn't able to hop onto the back end of the draft on those calls because of recording our shows, so I haven't had a chance to talk with those later draft picks, but definitely looking forward to it when we get back in the facility and talk to all these new players.
Listen, we can't wait for y'all to do that because we can't do it. So all we have is reporters like yourself and shows like your shows to kind of give us a little bit more insight that we're not now that we're not there. But hey, you never know. You never know. You might see us down there, Danny. You might see us down there.
Hey, now we talked about this off air, but I'm just gonna throw this in there right quick.
Right.
Been with the Cowboys, doing your thing, but I want to talk about how you kind of started out. You were doing on sideline interviews on high school football in Texas, which is huge. Kind of tell us about that experience and how to kind of maybe prep you get into the Cowboys, because we all know Texas football is gigantic. And it's like dang near pro football with the stadiums. Talk about how that kind of, how you got into that and how it kind of, took off from there.
Sure. So I graduated with a sports broadcast journalism degree from the University of Missouri. And then I came back here, back to my hometown, Dallas, and I ended up taking my first job with Fox Sports Southwest, and I was an editor. And so I was editing for all of our live shows, which was a multitude of sports and teams that they cover over there, and just started making connections with some of the producers for other shows and letting them know I was interested, and started doing some reports for their shows. And then I ended up becoming a sideline reporter for Texas high school football day. So going around Friday nights and being on the sideline talking to players and coaches. And it was so much fun. So I'm from Plano. And so I understand the multitude of Texas high school football and that it is unlike anything else. But I know, I love going to those smaller schools just as much. It was almost refreshing to just kind of remember like what football brings out in people, and you're seeing generations sitting in the stands and cheering on, even though they don't have family members or family friends playing on the fields. Like that's just what you do on Friday nights, is you go sit in the stands and you cheer for your high school football team. And it's just so much fun, and the passion they play with and the skills that a lot of these guys have. It was incredible. I'm very, very grateful for that experience. And I think that experience is what helped me get my job now with the Cowboys, and just kind of helping me get my foot into the door and get ready for the job that I have now.
Man, plus you good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, is Mickey Spags? So he's from the same university. I know you guys didn't go at the same time, but I know he kind of represents.
So is Brad Sham.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know Sham was from Missouri.
Brad Sham.
Yeah.
Mickey
He's dead. You got the whole humdum up in there.
Mizzou Tigers, yes.
Yeah, Mickey, he'll let you know every chance you get on it. He's from.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love Mick. Yeah, no, another couple Mizzou Tigers up there.
Yeah. Hey, so listen, we might as well drop the bomb. So we were going to do this at the very end, but since we're talking about Mickey and Brad and things like that, we have another one of your former colleagues. And guys, this is for you too. That'll be on the show this week. And we want to ask you about him a little bit. But
No.
Inside.
Yeah, inside trader information. Inside trader.
You're going to get me in trouble. Who
It's
are we
like
talking
Wall
about?
Street right here.
No,
it's a good
I'm
thing.
pretty sure you have some nice things to say about him. I hope you do. Guys and gal, Brian Broaddus will be on the show Tuesday, 8 p.m. We will have the former Dallas Cowboys scout and Cowboys break, talking Cowboys, all the good stuff. Pre-game show, post-game show. The Brian Broaddus will be in Tuesday night. And I know you have stories or you have your thoughts on Mr. Broaddus. We Cowboys fans, we love him. Even if we disagree with Brian, we love him because he gives us that inside knowledge,
that
depth,
he gives that raw,
that scout, type of feel that we don't have elsewhere.
Right.
And that's why we appreciate him. Even if we don't agree, I still appreciate what Brian did. So a little bit, can you give us a little bit about Brian?
Yes.
Brian is amazing. He is so intelligent and is so understanding of so many different facets that I didn't even understand when I was first working at the Cowboys. He was instrumental in the year and a half that I worked with him at the Cowboys, and just helping me grow and learn and understand the game in a different way and how to talk to players and coaches. I don't have enough great things to say about him. He made me much smarter in understanding this game and reporting on this game. I mean, if you're watching this now, guys, this is nothing compared to what Brian will give you in terms of information. So be sure
Joe
to
got fired.
That Brian is great. He really is an awesome person to work with.
We are definitely excited for Brian to have him on. And I knew you when I saw your face and your reaction. You're like, oh my gosh, and I knew you'd have some things to say about.
He's a tiger. He's just a different kind of tiger than me.
And he will let you know that he's
he will
from
definitely
LSU.
LSU. I was looking on a Twitter today, and I'm a Texas guy. University of Texas is my team, and I seen somebody on Twitter. They had a picture and it said DBU, and he put a title. He said, "You sure about that?" And he put his LSU Tigers right above it.
If you guys can imagine him and Dave Hellman working in close quarters.
Oh my gosh.
During football season. I know so much about LSU football. It's ridiculous from the two of them. So, and every Friday on casual Fridays, it's the gold and the purple and talking about the games and and then Danny McCray. He's also up there now. He's a former Cowboy.
He is up
there. Tell him to hit me up.
It is a lot of LSU up in the Cowboys.
I love how they're in close quarters because they're always playing little jokes on each other. I see little things like they tweet and stuff like that. I do miss their relationship. That's how it is in real life too.
Mm-hmm.
He's
great.
He's awesome. I wish he was still there. I don't know why he's not. But he's still doing his thing on 105 through the Fan. So it's gonna be great to have him in there. So. Just wanted to drop that,
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm going to have to listen to that.
Yeah.
Darn, you should have brought him on with me.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
One day at a time.
Yes, indeed.
We would love to have you back, though, at some point. I know it gets busy during the season, definitely for you because you're on a multitude of different shows. But maybe sometime in the preseason camp or what have you because you're down there.
Right.
You'll be right there getting all the information for us, and we'll be listening, for all your reports and what have you. So maybe sometime we can get you back on the show with B.
Yes.
Right. Both of y'all.
Yes.
But before you depart there, I have a guy named Vaj Lombardi. He want to know whether or not do you think that fans will be able to attend this training camp this year? Do you think?
So I don't have any insight from the team. I guess I'll just make that my disclaimer. My thought has nothing to do with what I've received, information from being a Cowboys employee.
Right.
But from what it has seemed, at least in Texas, with Governor Abbott, of that professional sports will be able to have fans, and it's already gone up from 25 to 50% capacity. I don't know the logistics of if that will count if the roof at AT&T Stadium is closed. I don't know if it has to be considered an open stadium and the roof has to be open. I don't know details about if they're going to have to social distance or how they pick which fans can get tickets. I don't know. Personally, I hope so. You would love that, right? You want that atmosphere. You want to go out and personally, you want to go watch the game. If you're a player, you want to have that home field advantage. Of course. I just hope that they're able to find a way where everyone is still safe and able to enjoy it. But I don't have, insider knowledge on that. I wish I did, but I definitely hope that fans are able to go, at least at AT&T Stadium. I don't know how that will be around the U.S. with other stadiums.
You know what the crazy thing is to me is my opinion is this. They open, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so they pretty much open everything in Columbus. There ain't no social distancing right now. Everybody is, we've seen what's going on with George Floyd. I'm not trying to, but we've seen everybody being around each other in close quarters. It's multitude of mass peoples. So if that's going on, bring them in the games.
Yeah.
Listen,
good deal.
Listen, I understand all the COVID and everything, but I'm not gonna lie. I hope football's back. I hope everybody's able to come to the games, man. And that could
wear a mask and gloves.
I will wear a bubble. I will wear a bubble. You ever see Bubble Boy?
Yeah, Bubble Boy. I'll be right next to you, dog. I'll touch your bubble. We'll high five.
I will say, for me, the priority is football, right? I'd rather have football and no fans than have something messy kind of happen and have fans, and then the season gets
canceled in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be ugly.
Right. So the fact that we were able to have schedule releases and the plan is still to have a season, that's just what I'm excited for. I'm ready to have sports back, and selfishly, I'm ready to have football back.
That's not selfish. We're all selfish with you.
Okay, perfect.
Straight up. We are hoping and praying that there's going to be some type of season. Even if they got to pipe in the sound, I'm cool with that.
Right. That's what they've been doing on some of these,
the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's not the same.
You
though.
watch UFC, huh?
No, I mean I see clips on
Oh,
Twitter and
And
stuff.
she said no.
Sorry, no.
No.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
She's like, I ain't lying.
I'm not gonna lie, because then if you start asking me questions, I can't dig myself out of that hole.
Listen, I don't watch it.
He said, "Oh, do you know blah blah blah?"
No. I don't watch it like that either. I just kind of tune in every so often, but I know that they're piping in sound right now. That's why I brought that up.
And it's weird, like watching golf.
That
It's
was
weird
fun.
without even seeing people. Yeah, I mean that was great. You know,
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson,
Talking
Tom
trash.
Brady.
Yeah.
It's weird without fans, but it's nice so that they're able to at least start finding ways for us to start having sports again.
Indeed, man. Indeed.
It will happen.
Hey, Danny, we're not gonna keep it too long because we can go. I told you we can go. But
This has been fast. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock.
I can't.
Yeah.
Hey,
8 o'clock
what
over
time flies
there.
when you having fun.
Yes.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, it's been awesome. But parting shots though, Law, and big game before we end the session.
You know I gotta go before Law because he go hard in the paint. I gotta just get my. I just want to tell you thank you. You've been for real. Your knowledge is fabulous. I
Thank
just
you.
really enjoyed
Mhm.
listening to you. You're a great personality. I really. One of the things that really stood out to me, like I said, I wasn't being a stalker when I looked at your stuff. I told you I'm an information guy. But just to see all the stuff that you have done is a testament to your hard work, and
Resume.
you really deserve where you're at, and I want to see even more from you. And I just hope that you come back on the show because you're an awesome guest. Awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those kinds of words. I'll come back whenever you guys need me.
Indeed.
I appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. I really appreciate you, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't. I loved every minute
Oh,
of it.
that's what I
Lazy
like
with
to
the setup.
hear.
Made us-
Now
you-
listen.
you
I was
made-
nervous at first.
Yeah, he
See, I just wanted to grab your attention for a quick second.
Listening.
Now see.
But you made us all look good over here, coming on
you.
the show
Yes,
and everything.
indeed.
And, we can't wait to see you down there in Frisco if they allow us to come. I come to all of the training camps there. So if they
Mhm.
allow us to come out there, I'll give you a shout out, and
Absolutely.
Yes.
maybe we can have the other guys be there as well. So really appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Thank
Keep it up.
you.
Fabulous work.
I don't know how I can follow up. I didn't like it. I loved it. So I'm just gonna say he always does that to us. No, I'm just messing with you, Law. Oh man, yeah, this has been awesome. I like James said, I hope we can have you on again sometime just to talk football. I love your knowledge of the game, and you have that inside knowledge in regards to the players. And we want to give our fans a different perspective. When we have our guests on here, it's all about giving them a different perspective than we can give them as fans. So we appreciate you coming on, and we respect your work greatly. Like I said, before the show, I respect your work greatly. Your resume speaks for itself. Guys, if you don't know, just go to DallasCowboys.com, type in your name. You'll find all our stuff up there.
It's gosh.
It's
it's-
So
You guys are very sweet. Thank you. I told
No
you
problem.
before, I was like, man, I'm nervous. I don't know if I can talk that long with
Oh,
you.
you
And
can.
oh man, gotta
Nah,
go.
we got- No,
Uh-huh.
you don't have to go, but we respect your
we're gonna be
time.
respectful. We're gonna be
We gonna be
respectful to
respectful.
you.
Thank you. I'm very appreciative of you guys having me on. I really did have a lot of fun. You guys are so much fun, so much energy, and so many fun personalities. I really
Thank
enjoyed being able to talk football again.
Yeah.
So whenever you guys need me, I am desperate to get ready for football. So
Good
just let me know.
Now, see,
Night. Hey,
Now,
just,
see, they
just
tell
scream
us
the
these
late night
things.
hype, Miss D.
Yeah, the late night hype.
when we hit you up,
We got it on
when the
recording.
news break that Dak
got it on
Prescott
recording.
signed a contract. Hey, we're calling up D. You know, call up.
Call
We're
up
on
D.
here.
We'll hit you
I'm
up.
here.
Hey,
Yeah.
anything you want to plug? Any like charity or something you're doing or what have you? Anything any shout outs, whatever you want to do. Anything you want to plug though?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I guess, think charity. I just
SoundCloud.
no.
Twitter, where to
the
follow
thing
you
now,
on
isn't it?
Twitter.
It is a
I'm
thing.
I'm not like a great millennial and stuff like that, to be honest. I don't. Yeah, no.
Oh,
no.
you old school then.
Old school.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, part of me I am. No, nothing I guess to promote in that sense. I guess my words would just kind of be that I hope everyone, especially that's excited for football, is just, be patient with everything in terms of us getting back into the facility and talking to players, and be patient and kind with one another. It's very wild times right now for so many different reasons. So just remember to be kind to one another and respectful. And hopefully when football gets back, that will be something that will bring us all together.
There it is.
No better words than that.
You
Man.
should
No better
clues
words
bomb. You gonna drop the clues bomb?
No, I'm not gonna drop the clues bomb. I'm gonna drop this.
Oh, okay. We know what that means.
That means we're gonna slide
We're
out.
coming right back though.
We are coming back. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll open up the phone lines and we'll wrap. Hey, can we tell them where to follow you at?
Yes, follow me Twitter at Dani Sureck. It's DaniSureck.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You heard it there first. Guys, stick around. We're gonna talk to Dani a little bit off air, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Indeed.
I said.
Unforgettable experience. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
I switched the mic, damn it. I switched the mic. What's up, Cowboys Nation? Look, we back, man. We back. What an amazing interview. An amazing interview by Dani Sureck. Please follow her on everything. From Instagram to Twitter. Oh, guys, I don't even have y'all in here. Hold on. I always press the wrong damn button coming back out of that thing. Wow. I'm still on the high from the interview. She was awesome, man. She was amazing. We could have kept going, but y'all know how we want to be respectful. All right, they're going to say they couldn't hear y'all here in a few seconds, but I got you back on. You're fine.
Yeah. We were giving away the secrets to the lunch codes over here.
Yeah, man. Amazing interview, dog. Like she was great. Her, Brianna Dix, they really know their stuff. Mm-hmm. So when we bring them on, I want you guys to understand that we're bringing them on because we respect their work and they know what they're talking about. But yeah, man, great interview. You guys go ahead. I'm gonna finish fixing up this stuff here.
No, well, James, I felt like it was a great interview. She gave us some good insights, man, to the I guess the coaching staff and the strength and conditioning coaches, and also some background stories of Dak Prescott. How do you feel about her interview?
I mean, it was fabulous. I think with the thing that she came with, she came with knowledge. I mean, when she was talking about the defense, Gallimore, Poe, bringing in guys, I was loving hearing that.
Large part into why.
And then when she came with the player who is she, when they asked her, who was the player that you most are excited to see or might be the surprise, and she came with Luke Gifford, I said, okay, that sold it up right there.
Yeah, when she said
nobody thought that one was coming.
She said, Uncle Luke.
Luke, like you, Skywalker, the Force.
Oh, yeah, try to think about that.
And the biggest thing about that, when we was in training camp out there in Oxnard, James, we was like 57. Did LVE change his number?
Right.
Remember, we was looking at
looked like a twin.
He looked like a twin, and he showed up in that San Francisco game, and he showed up in some of the things that they was doing out there in Oxnard. And he just needed a chance and an opportunity. And I think, like she said, real recognized real, basically. And then hopefully he can find his way on this roster.
You know what's crazy, though, Law? Mm-hmm. I'm so mad because when I was, when we were there and I went to the back and I was, just hollering at the Cowboys players, Luke Gifford was right in front of us. And I remember me and G were standing right there. And he was standing right in front of us. And it's so I feel so bad now. And I don't know. We were looking like, who's that? And we were looking, so we were opening the book. We're like, who is this dude? He tall. So we like Luke Gifford. Man, never mind. I'm gonna try to holler at somebody else. And now look at me. You know what I'm saying? He right in front of me. He was giving all his time to everybody. And I'm like, you big dummy.
You dead wrong, fam.
We might have to hit up Sosa, man.
I called myself. I said I'm a dummy.
Listen. Let me tell you something about Sosa. I ain't gonna say too much about Sosa because he's
Sosa.
He's Sosa. But boy, he's a beast.
Sosa is the truth.
Speaking of which, we did drop the clue bomb. On Brian Broaddus.
Oh,
yeah. Are y'all excited for that? Cowboys Nation. Are y'all excited?
Again, Sky?
Once again, Tuesday night on the late night hype.
What?
8 p.m.
What?
Yeah.
Hopping in the DMs.
What?
Trying to get the. No, I'm just playing. But nah, Brian Broaddus, man. Do I gotta say anymore? Brian Broaddus.
Brian Broaddus.
It's gonna be on here. Probably gonna be talking about the draft. I want to hear what he has to say. Jeff Kavanaugh was amazing talking about the draft, and the reason why I like these guys is because like our guy Vach is our Brian Broaddus.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Understand?
That is the truth.
And I'm gonna give him his flowers. Right, as Vach would say. See, I did there, Vach. See, I did there, Vach. I'm gonna give him his flowers because Vach is our Brian Broaddus, and honestly, that's where we want to go to when we want to listen to any draft breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to listen to a former scout, and I respect Brian so much because he really does try to put his biases aside when he's scouting these rookies. And it is what it is. Even if you don't agree with them, you gotta respect the work, man. He scouts over 150, something like 200 people. That's amazing. So Brian Broaddus is going to be on the show Tuesday, which is just bang bang, and Danny and then Brian, and that's just awesome, man. That's just awesome. I'm excited.
You know what I'm thinking? I don't know which language we can put out there for Brian Broaddus. I don't know whether or not we can stretch this thing and say, okay, was the fact that you were speaking aggressively about Jason Gary got you up out of the paint? By you beating on the table talking about
you ain't touching
that. I ain't touching that.
You trying to do Dez up in here.
Look, listen.
I ain't touching
like Linda, like the dude said, Linda, listen. Do y'all put it like this?
We
in
can
the
ask
chat box.
behind
Do
the
y'all
scenes,
want
fam.
the real good stuff? Do you want the real good stuff, or you want me to just tiptoe around that? I just want to know.
Law. We don't have.
I think that he does it a little bit on 105.
Does he? So he does talk about if he's okay with talking about it, then sure.
Yeah.
But I don't want to
I'm not
invade
gonna
my
leave
demands.
That sounds like a
privacy.
backstage pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We might better ask him behind the scenes, but if the man don't want his personal business out there, then you know what I mean. But if he talks about it, then hell yeah, dog, straight up. Why ain't you with the Cowboys no more?
When we gonna throw the ball out there, and I'm gonna see
He just came out. Yo got fired.
I just want to throw the bone there and see if he's gonna bite. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Yeah. You're right, but just do it the law way. He will.
Yeah, do it. You're real tactful how you do it, Law.
It's gonna be strategic. In a sense.
Right quick, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I can't talk about all the things y'all said about the interview. I seen you.
I seen some comments.
I seen you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You silly."
I'm just saying.
I seen you.
But appreciate you guys rocking out during that interview, man. Miss D was awesome. Thank you for all the super chats, right? From everybody.
Donations.
The donations were definitely there, so we appreciate that. And actually, guys, the show ain't over. Y'all know the late night hype is usually later than this. So when we go on earlier, we try to have a second act per se. So continue to share this stuff. You know, share with, what did you say, Law? Share with a friend or foe.
Yeah.
How you say it?
Act like you know.
Friend, neighbor, foe,
There you
or
go.
anybody you know, man. You know how it just rolls off the tongue. But you know those foes, they jumping in here like the Eagles fans and the Redskin fans and the Giants fans. They love having Big D in their mouth. Dane, I hope you ain't still watching.
Come on.
Said, wait a minute, I watched the show and you guys talking about stuff.
What the hell is even that?
This is the late night hype.
It's the late night hype, man.
The late night hype.
Yo got fire on that one.
I say that because we actually are going to talk about some Cowboys, some Cowboy things amongst us and amongst you guys, and that means that the actual lines will be open. The lines for your minds, the phone line for your minds, as Law Nation would like to say. 717-745-8898, 717-745-8898. And I know if you watch my channel, my solo show, you're probably like, Will, what's up with that number? Because I've changed it on my channel. It's a whole different access, but this one is different because we can't really connect the same way with that program. So don't use the old line. On my channel, use this one, 717-745-8898.
I keep going to voicemail.
Exactly.
We got Michael Irvin and would you want to use 98 for? Greg Ellis or Crawford? Which one?
Ellis.
Ellis, okay.
Hey, Crawford, if you're watching, I'd love to have you on the show.
Crawford, come on now. The Canadian.
Crawford might, if he listened last show, he's gonna
saying.
be like, "Yeah, I want to talk to you, big gang. Hey, don't holler at me, dog. I know you beat up people in the bars. I ain't about that life with you, dog. I got bats.
All the people he moved out the
I got
way.
bats.
There's a couple. Yeah, listen. There's a
bats.
couple dudes you be like, nah, we got to pop the trunk on him, fam.
You feel me? Hey,
We
I
got
got
pop the
bats.
trunk on him.
Man, we no scrapping over here. You do
Unless you
Give me
John
about
Onings.
15 minutes. Let me get to my car right quick.
John Onings know that jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
so.
you feel me? When we bring John on, I don't fool with John because
John
I
will
already
be
told
on.
you. I don't want to talk trash to him because he on that jiu-jitsu.
That's another one, guys. I'm just giving them all the
Tell him.
nuggets,
Come
man.
on, just throw it out there. You already did
put
it.
it out there.
In a couple weeks, Dallas News, is it? Dallas Morning News. That's what it is.
Dallas Morning News.
Dallas Morning News writer John Owning. If you don't know who he is on Twitter, man, be sure to go follow him on Twitter. You want to learn
He's a beast.
some X's and O's, and he's a very good writer. He's going to be on. He's excited to join us, so we're just waiting on the actual date. It's going to be the week of June 15th. So one of those times, John's going to hop on with us for a little bit and chat some football.
And also, I just want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
We got somebody else, Brianna Britt. She's gonna be coming in. She's got a bigger and
All right, I'm gonna mute my mic. Y'all go on ahead.
No, go ahead.
She's gonna be on here Wednesday. Her name is Brianna Britt. If you went to my Silver and Blue Nation YouTube page, I posted a picture of her. Go to her Instagram. I'm sure you'll see. But hey, she's gonna be on 15-20 minutes, and guess what? We'll talk a little Cowboy stuff and maybe something else.
She is a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
She is a Cowboy fan. I want to make something clear because I think I saw on your page, James, somebody asked, was she a cheerleader? She's not.
She too thick to be a cheerleader.
Listen, we got 8-1.
She too thick to be a cheerleader, dog.
Yeah, she could.
But you said that they throw you in the air, it ain't gonna happen that way.
She couldn't be a cheerleader, and that's not saying that she couldn't. I shouldn't say that. That's disrespectful.
It's not. She can't.
But no.
Nah.
832. We got 832 on the line. I think 832. You there?
See, listen, man. This is my problem, dog. I think the YouTube people, we need to be more accepting of the Dallas.com people. We need to love each other more. You know what I'm saying? We need to find ways to, collaborate and unify all under one roof. You know what I'm saying? As a nation, we need to love instead of trying to fight for .com people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right, Vaj? I see right through that, man.
Man. I was working on this video, man, and all I wanted to do was work on this Michael Gallup video and have some good cowboy news information entertainment in the background. And now I'm delayed 50 minutes behind schedule because I'm looking at my screen and I can't focus. And now all of a sudden, I want to make peace with the damn .com people.
Peace.
Hey, Bach, Wednesday, you'll be distracted as well.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, Bach already.
That's some high quality H2O, man. And I'm way too young for this. I know James and Law, they probably thinking differently, but I'm young. I'm not married or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I can say these things. I can say it.
Nobody on this panel can say any of that.
I'm locked up. I'm locked up and locked down, baby.
Well, Bach ain't. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I went to DallasCowboys.com and I pulled some videos. So I'm gonna be watching some .com content later.
In all honesty, though, I mean, keep it a bean. She's good.
Good.
She knows her stuff.
Let me tell you how fake y'all are. Let me tell you how y'all are. Like a regular fan would have just called in, right? Like say Joe Sandberg from the chat box would have just called in. He'd be like, "Hey, Joe Sandberg, what's a breakout player you're looking for next year?" He'll say Luke Gifford. Y'all will go, "Okay, that's a good one, Joe Sandberg. Good job." You said Luke Gifford. Y'all said,
You caught that, Vaj? Don't do us like that. Why are you doing us like that? Really? You gonna do us? You doing us like that, Vaj? Really?
Look, I get it. Look, listen. I'm not confirming nor denying that I would have oohed loud with y'all ass. I just think it's kind of fake and corny that y'all went ooh loud as hell because he said Luke Gifford. She doing her job. Relax. Just chill.
Okay, we'll take that.
Don't be on there hating on that damn.
Yeah,
response,
but
fam. You know damn well that was a good reaction.
Hey, Jerry Jones, get your act together.
Yeah, let me hit him with the no. I ain't gonna hit him with the get your act together.
Get your damn act together. I don't like your attitude.
Both of them. Nah, man.
I feel you, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did well.
Before you get off of here,
Go
man.
ahead.
Before you get off of here, we would be remiss if we did not bring up that amazing video you did yesterday for the YouTube community. That was dope. Yeah. I'm sorry, my volume's kind of low. That was dope. And I appreciate the shout outs that you gave us. And for the late night hype and individually, that was amazing. And I think we need more of that in the YouTube community, man. You are like I said, among the elite. And that was just, I'm still in awe. Like that shit's dope, man. You don't see that stuff on YouTube.
That was Yo Got Fired. I mean, and man, I'ma just give you your props. Like just like Skywalker said, man, you is our brand broadest, and for you to come out and say that, and give us those props and everybody, it just really meant. I know how much it meant to me, and I'm just glad. I'm glad we on good terms, dog. I got mad love for you, big ball.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. It just came from a place of, knowing where we at and knowing where we about to go. Like we ain't there yet, but we can just see what's on the horizon. We can just see what's coming next. We read the comments, we real close to the viewers, the audience, you know what I'm saying? So we know what's about to happen, And I just want everybody to be prepped for what's about to happen. Plus, I just want to get some information and thoughts out there before people start making shit up themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Right.
Vox can have this much, whatever. Y'all can do this much. I don't want nobody thinking that this shit monopoly, because this ain't monopoly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can drop a video Wednesday. You can drop a video Wednesday. It don't matter who they watch first, as long as they watch somebody second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it ain't really a competition here. So I know sometimes narratives, you know what I'm saying, they can be painted, because if you don't put that information out there, it'll just be left for everybody to make their own mind up. So I just wanted to be first and let everybody know that from my standpoint, and I hope everybody kind of address this at some point, from my standpoint, ain't no problems in the YouTube community. You know what I'm saying? We may not all be on one video together. Somebody chat about like, yo, Vox, why you not on the show right now? This ain't my show. This y'all show. I want y'all to exist in y'all show. I'll exist on my show. When the time comes, the time comes. Danny's a way better guest than I would be anyway. So don't even worry about it.
And she prettier than you.
I mean, listen, they don't want to look at your face, Vox.
You ugly.
Yeah, y'all don't want to see me. Y'all don't want to see me. So
You ugly dog.
It just came from this place, man. It was just on my mind to do it. I just want everybody to know, man. I want everybody to keep working hard, man. Keep grinding and use each other for motivation. I want, you know what I'm saying, people to try to pass me in subs. I want to try to pass y'all in views. I want to pass your damn production. Y'all got some of the best damn production. It inspired me to be better in production. So let's use each other to make this thing better. So when the networks do come to YouTube for real, we'll be busting their ass before they even get here. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to ask you a quick question before you get off here, Vox. Did you see my tweet?
Yeah.
And I want to ask your opinion on it. I didn't get a chance to ask the guys, but I was thinking, man, we need to get together somehow, some way, and do a charity like flag football, and do the proceeds to some kind of charity. Maybe we can find one, but I would love for us guys on YouTube or whatever to get out there and just have some fun and have it recorded. Everybody watch us and have the proceeds to go something great. What would your thoughts be about that, since you did play?
I mean, that sounds good, but you an old man now, so who you gonna get?
I'm gonna get at you, big dog. You gonna see, big dog.
But I'm
You
gonna say
see what
this.
I'm gonna do on that
I'm gonna
field.
say this from the jump.
You gonna see what I'm gonna do on that field.
Can't nobody guard me.
Time out.
So
Yeah, right.
I'm
I'm sticky corner, big dog. Okay, well, that's why I threw this out there, because it's all a lot of talk. But get out there on that field.
No. I gotta run that back. James hit him with the charity and saying we're gonna do the event, we're gonna do the flags. Vox said that's all good and well, but you old.
That's fine. Oh, it's gonna look even better when this old man kicking y'all ass out there.
Listen, man. This my thing about it.
Uh-huh.
John Wick said he retired. John Wick said, I'm not gonna be an assassin no more. Y'all don't push me. Leave me alone. It's me, my dog, and my car. James just killed my dog and stole my car.
Yeah.
Don't bring John Wick out of retirement, dog.
I'm bringing him out, man. You just talking a lot of trash, man. You sound scared.
I got cleats in the closet, player.
Let's go. I got it too, big dog. I threw it out there.
Time out.
Let's
Listen,
make it happen.
If we all end up down there at some point of a game or training camp or whatever, let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's an open field at the start. It's the open field right at the start. We just move people out the way, and we'll do it right there at the start.
It's a good idea, James.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, I'm saying this on record on your show. Put me down.
Got you.
There it is. Appreciate you, big dog.
That's good.
Appreciate y'all, man. Everybody get off the phone and sit back and listen and try to get this damn video done. Salute.
Salute. Bro. Always great, man. Always great when he
Oh, man, we're going to get that. That game's going to be popping.
We're going to end up coaching the game. We're not even going to play.
I ain't coaching shit. You talked a lot of trash, Law. I'm guarding you.
Sure. I still think I might not be a 4.45 anymore, 4.40, but I might be a 4.5.
I ain't no 4.5. I might be 4.7, but it's that mind. When you get older, you got to use your mind.
You got that Sean Lee speed now.
Jason Witten.
Okay,
Jason
thank you, Skywalker.
Witten
I was waiting for you to get me.
You got the show. Remember when he was like, man, Sean Lee running 4.5, don't he? He running 4.5. He went and looked it up. He said,
you know where I know. She said, you don't run no damn 4.5.
He said 4.77. My bad.
I saw damn 4.77.
What old Jason Witten run?
Oh man, he probably run like a 5.7 now,
5'8".
fam.
Oh my God.
The funniest thing that Jason Witten does now is when he catches it, right? He give you this half stiff arm. Like the stiff arm come where camera at? It come right here. He don't even stretch it all out, and then the stiff arm don't work. And the one thing that Vach said, I think it was Vach, he was like, he does this thing where they don't even tackle him, bro. He just drags the person out of bounds half the time when he's running that out. Like, Jason Witten's just an odd player now. He's odd. I don't care if you don't like it. He's odd. It is what it is. Yeah. I think we have a 978 on the line. 978, you there?
Hey, ho.
This is Dan Lee.
Hey, ho.
What up?
Who's this?
KMT.
Oh, KMT. What up, KMT?
I'm probably the youngest person in this whole feed, but what's good?
That's all good, dog. What's up with you, man?
Yeah.
I like to thank Big Game James for saying anything else for that jersey, that giveaway.
Oh, you won that.
Yeah, he won the jersey giveaway.
Yeah, congratulations, brother.
Yeah.
And make sure when you get sent, make sure when you grab it, you take that damn picture so we can see all that love.
Yeah.
Hey, I already told you on Twitter I'm taking the picture.
There we go.
My man. What's up, though? What's on your mind, KMT?
All right, so I got a question and I got a video or stream idea for you guys.
Ooh, I like ideas.
I'll start off with the idea for you. I think that you guys could do a stream or a video and do stat predictions for every main player. So we got the receivers, tight end, running back, obviously Dak at quarterback, and then some of the defensive guys on the line, linebackers, corners, maybe.
I like that. I'm doing a series called the State of the Unit where I go down the line for each unit, but we could spin off of that and do statistics for each unit. I like that.
Yeah.
And we got that statistic stuff too.
Go ahead.
All right, the question is for each one of you. Each one of you has to give a different answer.
Okay.
All right. It's one one realistic move you think the Cowboys will make or can make before the start of the season.
Oh, you trying to realistic? I like that one.
Oh wow, he put it right in the box.
The bomb with that one.
I got that one because I can go ahead and lay that one.
I got a good one.
I got one too.
Yeah. Whoever goes last is gonna have the hardest job.
Nah, they ain't even thinking of mine. Go ahead.
I'm saying Everson Griffin.
Yeah, I knew that. That's easy. That's a low hanging fruit. Go ahead.
That's low hanging fruit, but who cares?
Go ahead, Long.
All right, he said one realistic move the Cowboys will make before the start of the season. Realistically, they will sign Dak Prescott before July 15th. It will be on July the 15th with a grand press conference, and it's going to be something of that nature. That's realistically speaking.
Okay, I got one for you. We all want Jamal Adams, but Jamal Adams realistically probably is not going to happen. But that doesn't mean we don't have a need at strong safety for depth. So, Rashad Jones, a 32-year-old former Pro Bowler, injury prone, so he's going to be cheap, right? But he could be a spot starter. He can be a depth guy. So somebody like Rashad Jones, and I'm biased because I like him a lot, but I think he makes sense because we don't have a box
Miami?
guy. He's from Miami, yes.
Okay, man.
He's a free agent right now.
Right.
So I could see somebody like Rashad Jones coming in.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Did y'all see that death from Rashard Caldwell? That hurt my heart.
Yeah, Rashad Caldwell.
That hurt.
I remember, it's funny because he's been in the league for a while, but I remember him mostly with the Pats, right? I think he played with the Patriots towards the end of his career.
Yeah,
but yeah, KMT, that's our answers, buddy.
Yeah, I think he gone.
So one thing I'm going to say about the Rashad Jones thing is, who is that safety that you had on the show? The
Luther Kirk.
The undrafted kid.
Luther Kirk.
Remember what you said about him is how once the Cowboys signed him, they weren't going to sign any more safety.
Well, I said they didn't sign any more and they didn't draft any, but that's before training camp. You know, people get hurt. They get the chance to see people, maybe, and this is just to answer your question, right? I'm not saying they will sign them, but realistically, that's the position that we could use some help at. We don't have a thumper. We don't at safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. We don't really have any true strong safeties out there.
Nope.
A lot of these guys are mostly free safeties.
And that could be by design, but if they want to have at least one in tow, they didn't even bring back Kayvon Frazier, who could have did it in situations. But that's the one position we don't have. But again, it may be a position they don't care for, is to have that box guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. You good, KMT?
All right. Yeah, that's it.
All right, man.
Hey, appreciate you, big dog,
Always,
and appreciate your support. Keep tweeting that
Always.
dead for me.
Always, man. Oh, that's you that be.
Yeah, this was it day 20 now, KMT?
KMT about up to day 50.
20 something.
It's gonna be.
He said 20 something.
I predict it's going to be day 88 that he gives you a response.
Ooh. Wouldn't that be something crazy?
That would be dope.
Perseverance, yeah, hard work.
that.
Really appreciate you.
I like that.
Yeah. What's up, William Williams? All right, man. Appreciate you, KMT. Thanks for your support,
see
brother.
you guys
Appreciate you,
later.
big dog. Love you, man.
Thank you.
All right, peace out.
As you guys can see, I changed the scene here because I wanted to talk a little bit about what we were talking about with Dani, and that was the coaches. Because I put a little video out that talked about, hey, the coaches are allowed to come back on June 5th, which was Friday, and we talked about that with her. But I'm gonna ask you guys this question before I'm asking you guys as well in the feed. What coach are you most excited to see? Not necessarily perform, but to have. What coach are you most excited to have
two of them
on this team? And it can be multiple. It absolutely can be. It can be multiple coaches. It can be a combination of coaches. But mine was Kellen Moore, and I'll get into it. But who are you guys most excited to have on this roster for 2020?
James,
I
you
go
wanna
first because you good, Law. I gotta go for you. I want to see. I'm a defensive guy, so the two people I would really love to see. I really love Tom Sula. I really want to see how he works on that defensive line. He's a grunt guy. He's a guy that, when you see him in his interviews, he's kind of down homish, and I really like that. And I really want to see Al Harris. I loved that hire because I watched him as a player. He's an aggressive guy, and I think he's really going to bring that aggressiveness to that back end for the first time in a very long time. And I believe he's going to bring an attitude as well because that's what he played with. So I'm super geeked up to see Al Harris. He would be my number one guy. Tom Sula will be below him.
Oh, wow. That's good stuff, man. I got Al Harris on that list too, but I got three guys. That would be Coach Edwards, and that would be Al Harris and Maurice Linguist. If you go back and watch my earlier video of Maurice Linguist, I went into details of how he actually got things and set up for training and educating the players on the reason why they play in a certain skill set, or the reason why they play in a certain position, or the reason why they should be on the fourth side of the field, and the reason why to contain your cutback, and the reason why to put people in places where they at. So I like the way he breaks down plays and he coaches, what have you, from an educational aspect of it. And I do like Al Harris, his ability to be aggressive. Big Game James, when we were watching football back in the olden days, when we saw him play,
my God.
He played nasty, didn't
he? When he
With the
was
dreads
at
and everything,
Philadelphia and Green Bay, he reminded me, we was all talking to Predator. He was the one that to me was the Predator because he played like that. He played like if once he got on you, it was locked down. It was aggressive. You was in a fight all damn game with Harris. Yeah. And I loved that attitude. I loved watching him play. And when I heard we got him, I wanted to do a cartwheel backflip.
Yeah, Harris was the one who, when Matt Hasselbeck, said, we want the ball, we're going to win. He said,
thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pick six. Thank you. Game over.
Pick six, game over. Yeah. And my third guy, Coach Edwards, everything that people loved about the Minnesota Vikings for the last 3 to 4 years, it was him. It was him, his way of coaching that defense. And for us to get him as a positional coach, whatever he may do for the Dallas Cowboys, is a slam dunk.
Go listen to George Iloka.
Yeah. Listen to George Iloka, the alignment and assignment, the wisdom and the knowledge, the ability to put people in right places and bring in that wisdom. Look, I can tell you all day on how to learn how to swim. You can read multiple books, but until you in that water, you see,
water
until you're in that water. And, water. If you're not in that water and learning how to swim, I'm giving you guys some of that old school Mississippi talk.
Yeah, you're giving us that down south.
I mean, God, dog.
Tighter than a gnat's ass. Like what?
Yes. We bring in that type of funk, that type of flavor with those three guys, and we're not even talking about Mike Nolan and Tom Sula. Yeah. Those three moves right there was huge, Cowboy Nation. And one can throw in the Davis guy as the assistant head coach. I think that
Yeah, what's his name?
Out.
Is it Reggie Davis?
Rob Davis.
Rob Davis.
Rob
Yeah,
Davis.
Rob Davis.
Robert or Rob? Yeah.
Rob. This Rob.
Yeah,
And he's never coached. He was always been a guy that's been along with McCarthy as the kind of like the stabilizer, the locker room guy. And not to cut you off, I apologize about that, Law. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
I just wanted to say that to me, that is another huge hire because when I listened to the interview with Rob Davis, when he was talking about Mike McCarthy, he was saying that the one of the things that Mike McCarthy is very, very, very important to him is the locker room. And I'm not saying Jason Garrett didn't do that, but I believe that when you bring a guy like Davis, that when maybe you had some issues with some guys, that's going to stabilize that locker room because you got a whole new coaching staff. So that's going to be premium for that to happen in that locker room. So I think that's great. And I like the way Mike McCarthy really took his time and got the right type of staff, in my opinion.
My goodness. And they all good brothers too, and they be able to talk to them from a brother standpoint. And not alienating my other counterparts there, but I just want to say that he's able to snatch them into the corner and say, okay, bro, come on. You know what I'm saying, Big Game Jay. You know what I'm talking about.
Chris
totally
Bouchard, Leon Ladd. I mean, we had those two last year. I don't want to be good. But for me, mine's is Kellen Moore and Bones Fossil. That's who I'm most excited about because I'm it's like Kellen Moore is kind of like he was like a caterpillar last year, right? He really didn't he's not blossomed into that butterfly yet because I think he was in a cocoon, and that cocoon was Jason Garrett. But
good analogy.
We saw the potential every so often, right? We saw that potential, and a lot of people are frustrated with Kellen. Some people wanted him gone. Here's my rebuttal on that. Guys, we were the 22nd or 23rd ranked offense in 2018? 22nd or 23rd. In his rookie year, with zero experience calling plays, under Jason Garrett, running predominantly his offense, he took us from 23 to first.
And stayed first like them the whole year.
With zero help from his special teams, zero help from his defense. He did that. So imagine him with an offensive guy like a Mike McCarthy, because let's be real, it's very possible Jason Garrett really didn't want Kellen Moore because reports came out that Jason Garrett requested to be the play caller. And good old Jerry Wayne, as you like to say, was like,
get your damn act together.
Yeah, he told him.
Don't like your attitude.
No, Jason. We've been down this road before for about 7 years, and we ain't like it. So we're going to let the young bucks see what he can do. And what did he do? Elevate the offense to number one.
Elevation for the nation.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is imagine him under a guy like McCarthy, who had a year off, who admitted that, dog, I've been in this lab, and I ain't coming back the same dude you saw in 2018 and at the end of 2018. So you get a guy like that, it just excites me. And I know it's not a new coach. He's already been here. But year 2 with this offense, he's not shackled by JG. He's not shackled by Jason Witten, right? Yeah. Like he's not shackled by not having to play Tony Pollard. Like he can probably do what he wants to do, and I am excited to see that man spread his wings and become a butterfly. I am.
And not just that. I mean, we've seen what Mike McCarthy offices have done. Like I said, when I made a video about Blake Jarwin, right? We all love Blake Jarwin. We're waiting for him to explode. And like I said, when you look at the tight ends that he had under him, especially the guy like Jamarco Finley stood out to me. He was in there young and he was getting 92 targets, 87 targets, 75 targets. And this was after guys on the team, receivers were getting 130 targets, 110 targets. So you talk about the main receivers and your tight end is still getting that. That's exciting to see what this offense can bring. And then you got a young innovator because everybody that we talked to, even that we had on the interviews, they have raved about Kellen Moore's mind. Even Cedrick Wilson, remember when he had him on? He said that guy's mind is ridiculous. Don't look at him and say, oh, look at this dude. He don't look like
he look like a paper boy.
That was the problem to me, Skywalker. You know, when Dallas first got Kellen Moore, everybody was hating on him because how he played. And they weren't looking at the mind. Just because you played a certain way doesn't mean you're not going to be a great coordinator, because to me, a lot of the great coordinators weren't great players.
Yeah. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear James. He couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't hear me?
No. You're good. You're good.
Or just
Okay.
on my end. Okay.
Hey, I'm so sorry. 214. We had you on hold for 9 minutes.
Oh, damn.
You a trooper, man. 214. What up?
What up? What up?
We're sorry.
Yo, can you
I
hear me?
apologize.
Yeah, man. We can hear you. What's up, man? You on live?
Bro, what's good, man? It's Thursday Hal, the third #1 motherfucking
Thursday.
What up, country boy?
Yeah.
Country boy.
What up?
Thurston. What up with you, fam?
The third.
#1 Jason Gary Hater.
Yeah, that's for damn
You know,
sure.
it's me.
What up, Thursday?
What's going on with y'all boys?
We good, man.
Sure.
Also having a great show tonight, man. What's up with you?
Yeah. Appreciate you
I know, boy,
being
y'all,
part of it.
y'all boys know not to be talking about no Jason Gary before I get on here. Y'all gonna get me started.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna get me started talking about Jason Gary before I get on here. But I was just calling to say, everybody don't put the cart before the horse, because we marrying two different offensive philosophies together. You know what I'm saying? The play calling gonna be different. Like the spider 2 wide bananas, and our stuff gonna be colors and right, left, and all that. So we got to get that time to manifest itself. Let's just not jump out there in a hurry, and then when it don't go the way we want it to go the first couple of weeks, we're gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just telling everybody, keep that in mind, that it's gonna be totally different, and guys got to mirror two philosophies together. So we got to give it that time to work out.
And you also have COVID, right? Like we don't
Yeah.
have all that time because of COVID. So it's very possible that the whole entire league could come out sluggish. However, last year we got off to a rapid start offensively.
Yeah.
And we still have that same quarterback and that same offensive coordinator that has a connection. So
Yeah.
Even with the COVID, we still marrying two playbooks together. So it's gonna be a little rough at the beginning for us anyway. So we just, it's gonna get there. We just can't just be ready to be like, hey, we gonna come in and dominate. Because you know how some of us is. We don't dominate early. Some of us jump off the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying?
Boy,
Some of
the
them.
birds. And them
them.
the ones I want them to jump off. Here's
Jump
the thing.
off. We're gonna keep you off.
I love their objectivity. I just think that we've been so stale. You know, how you ever had those crackers that was in the cabinet and it was slightly open?
saltines.
Yeah, saltine, and then you bite into it. You're like, God, dog, man, how old these crackers are? You know,
Them crackers
that's
was
what
10 years old. is what
10
they
years
were.
old. Matter of fact, 13, if you know what I mean.
Or that
So
cereal that
I
they
still
open,
eat 'em.
yeah, you got to dip those into some soup.
I'll still eat them with
It's
some
going.
peanut butter. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, but that's what we've been doing. We've been preserving.
we've been
big game, James. But now we got a new coach with a new flavor, and I understand the objectivity because we have not been beyond the first and the second round of the playoffs. So
Since
it's
1995.
1995. Boy. But I do like the objectivity that you bring into the table, the reality.
Yeah,
of the
I like
situation.
that. Like, hey, everybody, relax. If we don't come out balling,
Relax.
we have new coaches. Multiple systems will probably be mixing and matching here. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I prefer to get
Y'all
hot
know how
towards
some
the
of
latter
these
part of the
fair
season.
weather
anyway.
Cowboy fans.
Yeah, you got to filter them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all know. Oh, Dak ain't throwing for 300 yards a game. He ain't worth the money, man. That's how some of these cats is, man. Don't worry about all that. Look at Dak overall. Look at how
Those
we
are
was winning.
Those are the tribe of the Skip Baylesses of the world. You know why I say that? Because as long as I've been
I don't
pumping and
even
living
mention
and
that
breathing the
clown.
Dallas Cowboys, I would never take my stuff off and put it near nobody's trash can. For me to see on
Yeah,
national
that's
crazy
corny
when
as
he
hell.
does
that
man.
Skip Bayless
that pisses
gonna
me off.
take the hat off, the beautiful, the
Zeke's
glorious head of the
mom
Dallas
said,
Cowboys.
"Bye.
Yeah.
Don't ever." Zeke's mom was like,
Wow.
"Bye. You throw my son's jersey away.
lame.
We don't want you back because you
We
doing that."
don't do that around
Yeah,
here.
we don't do that
burn
around. You do that,
jerseys,
that's
and we don't
terrible.
put our stuff in nobody's trash
He's a
can.
fake Cowboys fan anyway.
You know,
to me.
we
He's a fake
diehard Cowboys fans over here.
He's fake.
Yeah, separating the
Well,
wheat
you
from
know,
the tares.
Skip Bayless just really be on who winning right now, because he
Right.
loves him some Tom Brady too. You know how that go.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So he just go for whoever winning at the time. He just like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith got about 4 or 5 different favorite NFL teams,
man.
right? So we ain't listening now on one of these cats, right?
I really advise people, and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to big up us, but let's be honest, man. If you coming for some real Cowboys football talk, those are not the stations you need to be listening to.
Right.
Hell no. Some of these stations out here where I'm at in Dallas be full of shit. So shit. Hell no, you definitely don't get it from Skip Bayless and Stephen A. who ain't in Dallas and don't know shit. They just real shit secondhand.
You told me it was my turn.
There you go, right there.
you is wild,
right. But hey, this is the only thing. This is the only person I will give props to, and it's just been a couple of weeks now. I give Shay Sharp some props because when they bring on some of the current players, and
no damn Shay Sharp, no damn props.
You see at least he don't fold when they bring some of the current players on the stage. But that doggone Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, man, they be folding up. When Jalen Smith was on that show, I said, "Come on."
That is true. Smith, he will still come at you, but damn,
here's the thing with Shannon Sharp.
He's still full of shit, though.
He's so much shit. Here's the thing. I'm telling you what's happening right now. They realize that they could flip it, and that would just mind F everybody that watches that show. Like, wait, wasn't Shannon Sharp just dogging Dak Prescott? Now he's praising Dak Prescott? And wasn't Skip praising Dak Prescott? Now he's dogging Dak Prescott? This must see TV. No, it ain't. That's malarkey. That's what it is. It's malarkey. And I know that they're planning these things because your boy Dan Orlovsky done let the rabbit out the hat, and he should never did that. He came out on 105.3 The Fan and said, "Yeah, man, we script these things."
Right.
So, hey, and I get Shay say some real stuff about the culture, and I appreciate him for the culture. There's no doubt about that.
He goes hard.
He spits some real about the culture, but when it comes to the Cowboys, I ain't trying to listen to what that man got to say, fam. Nothing.
Definitely listen to it for the culture, but shut the hell up. Get your damn act together on them damn Cowboys.
Vach said you wrestling. He said you wrestling your phone over there, bro.
Yeah.
Just tell Vosh to meet me on the field, dog, and stop talking all that bullshit.
Talking about you. He talking about the caller.
I don't give a hell.
Oh my goodness!
I'm still on Vosh. I can't wait till that one.
Film breakdown.
Slim Fit Knuckle gonna get you some.
Hey, Thurston, we gonna get up out of here, Thurston.
Big game, James.
Hey man, I again, folks, I appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, big dog.
I want to say, fuck Jason Garrett, fuck Saquon Barkley, fuck the Giants as a staff or organization as a group. That's what it is.
That boy gave me some.
He gave a Tupac. He said, "Yo, there's a whole staff and organization." I love it. Way to end that,
man. Appreciate you, bro.
Right,
that boy gave me some Tupac vibes, man. I'm so crunk.
Hey, I'm listening to that after this.
Yeah.
Let's listen to some Mad Boy Step.
So the fuck and the you claim. Yeah.
Yeah. My 4-4 make sure none of your kids grow. You know what I'm saying? They already bringing me out, baby.
Hey, you know what he said? He said, "I remember what you said. Don't go to war for money ain't right. Well, I got my money right. Now I want war."
I want war.
KMT said family friendly. If we could put a rating on this, we would say it's rated PG-13. You gotta have a parent
PG,
guardian
18,
if you either that, and there's some nights where it's rated R. It's some nights where it's rated R, but I would definitely
That's when we got the sauce.
PG-13, man.
Yeah, PG-13.
We got that gorilla sauce. That's rated R coming out.
Yo, I'm sorry, but honestly, I don't even want to see no damn 7-on-7 flag football. I just want to see Voch versus James. And just that's all I want to see. Because listening to y'all go back and forth. Look, James see what the hell is going on in the chat. He replying in this motherfucker.
I don't play. Yeah, I'll be all over. I'm watching.
Let me be the Q. Nah, I don't got no arm for that, man.
I got an arm.
All right, I'll let you be that.
I'll be the Q.
Skywalker, you said you played cornerback, though, didn't you?
Safety and wide receiver.
Well, you got my back. So if me and you on squads, I'll be the corner. You my safety. So
I'll be Tyron Matthew.
You feel me? And I'm gonna be that hip pocket in there. So they ain't gonna score on us, big dog.
I'm with it, man. For real, man. Let's do this.
He getting hype. See, I'm getting them hype. See, Skywalker, I see him taking the legs. He rubbing them legs. They get hype.
I'm like,
they can't see that. You can see.
I'm like this, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session.
He gonna break. Oh damn!
Party who keeps
but
he's wide open. He's wide open. It's picked off.
No, fam. No, we really got to do this because then we can record it, right? And then we can get a Law Nation film breakdown and then Voch. Can you imagine? Yeah, be Voch and Law. Just one of us getting broke down. And I'm gonna be honest with you, fam. I look young, but I am not. Okay, so I know for a damn fact I got about a good quarter in me, and then after that, fam, I'm just gonna be on the line blocking. So I'm just telling you right now.
This thing is going to turn from flag football to tackle.
Let me
for
flag real,
football, two-hand touch, and then tackle.
Let me give you an example. LA Fitness got the courts, right? I used to be able to run, 7, 8, 9 games. I just could run all damn day because I played basketball. That was my thing.
Right.
Like I played football, but I played basketball too. And I was just running, just killing it as a young buck. Then a couple years ago, I thought, all right, the hoopers is in there, but there was real hoopers. I didn't realize these was real hoopers in there. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I can go in here without stretching.
Them hammies.
I got about I got about a good 5 minutes in that thing up and down. And these dudes, these young bucks now, these high school kids, dog, they on steroids, fam.
No, they build different these days.
My hamstrings tightened up so damn fast, fam. Yep. Come on,
I'm telling you, we're gonna end up coaching this thing, man.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Hey,
I'm be online blocking.
That what you talking about, Sky? I did that one time too. Me and my son went to
got stretch
the gym, and I did stretch a little bit, but I didn't go as hard. Man, and my son, I was guarding my son. Oh, he was feeling so good because I didn't stretch, and I had a long day the night before, so I was wore out. And my son was low key giving me the business. Oh, he felt so good about himself because he ain't never did in his life. So I said, from that point on, that's never gonna happen again. Drink water, stretch, all that, never gonna happen.
Get the electrolytes in there. Make sure there's synovial fluid.
It's funny because the pops is always. It don't matter how old they get, they always talk shit like they gonna beat you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
my son, like, you ain't whooping me.
Hey, we got what is this? 843.
Richard Sherman, the man coverage.
Yeah, I said cover 3.
843, what up? Turn your radio down.
I got you. What's happening, y'all?
What up, though?
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, it's your boy. It's James from Support. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, take me to fifth. Dallas, Texas. Long-time, lifelong Cowboys game. I'm young enough to feel the stress of the Cowboys I have to control, but I'm old enough to remember watching the last Cowboys Super Bowl. I think it was like 95, 96. They played against the Steelers.
Yep.
I think I was like 5, 6 years old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Oh yeah,
you
them diapers, man.
He
was
young,
but
he come on the phone.
I was 8.
On the phone with a deeper voice.
He came on. I know. He sounded like he was 48.
I know. Right. I was trying to put it together.
I was
sound like he.
What the hell? You 20-something years old. You sound like a grown man.
This boy deeper than us. I was 5.
Man, in my first life. Oh man.
What's up, man?
I was kids, man. They'll do it to you. Don't say that word too loud. I'm gonna have to get off and go change time. So we're gonna keep that low. But what I wanted to call in, and I know a lot of people, this kind of had buzz earlier, but I haven't let it go. When we talk about LVE and him returning back to health, we know that he had recurring neck injuries. So if we're looking at this objectively, when they put out the timeline initially when he went down the first time, it's going to be, I think it was, they were like, we're going to give him 2 or 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Then they kept prolonging it. I think by like week 10 or 11, it was like, yeah, he's going to have the surgery, but we're looking hopeful for X, Y, and Z. Now, what my concern is that with LV being one of our main contributors on defense as far as run game, supporting things like that, even in the pass game as well. He's developed the pass game too. With that neck injury, now we have to be objective with that neck injury. Being Cowboys faithful, I love to be hopeful, but objectively looking at it, with that neck injury, recurrent injury, his availability and then his psychological action, playing, going forward, making plays, things like that, is going to be hindered. Do you think that that's going to be an area of concern, linebacker, that next year 2, maybe 3, we're going to have to readdress again.
You guys can go ahead with that. Go ahead and answer that. I'll answer that.
Yeah, I can pull this up because I was looking at some of LVE's footages and I was sitting there like, wow, when he did play last year, he showed up. Law, what game did you guys want to look at? This is the game. It was the first game that we played against the Philadelphia Filthy Eagles. LVE played in that game and he showed out. Remember, when quarterbacks like to target the middle of the field, it's hard. I gotta say it like that because when you have a 6'4", 6'5" guy with range in the inside of the field, like he played, he eliminates some of that stuff, and he's quick. He's like surprisingly quick to the ball. So my thing is, once he was not able to play, we saw those issues. We saw those issues when the Minnesota Vikings game, when he didn't play that full game, and Sean Lee was running for his life to try to cover Rudolph the Red-Nosed tight end, whatever his name is. We saw those inefficiencies with Sean Lee. So what I'm thinking is, when you finally get a healthy LVE, we will see some games like what we saw against the in his rookie year. We had 4 turnovers that game, or his rookie year. We had 4 turnovers in that Eagles game the first time. I think that LVE is a very pivotal spot for us. I think that neck issue is more telling. We don't know until he get hit whether or not he can continue. But if I'm going to think pessimistically, I would say, man, the Cowboys need to figure out another way.
Well, I'm gonna jump on it like this.
Wait a minute, what's that mean?
I mean, if you want to be pessimistic, then you would say, well, the Cowboys probably need to go invest in that spot. But if you're thinking rainbows and sunshines, and you're thinking that, hey, with Cowboys goggles, this guy going to be the next enforcer, and he's going to play for a long tenure, a long time, then man, with this particular system, he's going to be nightmarish. But I can't.
This is what I'm gonna say about LV. I had Patrick Walker on my show, and Patrick Walker was one of the main ones that said LVE is good. He said he talked to numerous doctors that didn't. That's the thing that was I listened to. He said he talked to numerous doctors that did not know each other, because see, when you know each other, they'll start giving you that same answer. He said he talked to numerous doctors and they said he is good. Then we had Brianna confirming when she was on the show, Brianna Dix. He is good. Then remember Bobby Belt came in our inbox. Remember he sent us the LVE transcript where he gave them an interview. And in that interview, I really felt that gave me more reassurance, because LVE was adamant and said, this is the best I felt even before I hurt my neck in college. And he said, he basically detailed the situation when he got hurt. So when this kid was detailing the whole situation when he got hurt and what he said, he couldn't put any pressure on his arm. He said he couldn't do anything. He said, but when he got that surgery, he said he's 100% to go. He's chomping at the bit. Everybody's giving full blast. So I was a little nervous because it's a neck injury, but too many people are saying, look, it wasn't that serious. It's okay.
He's got a good Tyson said, though, Mike Tyson said, you know what Mike Tyson said? Everybody got a game plan until what?
I hear you,
but I just feel like, from the objective side of things, I don't want to be so I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be like, yes, this guy finna be the next. He finna have the rookie LVE feel. I don't want to put that out there yet. I just want to see him. I just want to see him in preseason or even in training camp. I just want to see it. I just want to see it before I can say it.
Well, see, I'm the opposite in the sense of I want to see him be the bad LV before I say he is, because when he's healthy, he is a great player. So until I will believe him, I will believe all the reports I've seen that he's good.
Oh man, so I'm negative Law Nation.
You're negative Law Nation. You're negative Nancy right now. You're negative Nancy.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that feels like that.
You are the only one.
No, there's a ton of people out there in Cowboys land that feel the same way as you. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just the opposite in the sense of I've seen enough of LVE to know that the dude can play really freaking good. Now, am I projecting this thing out 5 years from now? I don't know. But until I see that he is not healthy, that he's playing as bad as sometimes he did play, then yeah. But we heard from him and we heard from his agent that he was playing with one arm. Right. And you can tell because he already wasn't the most physical guy when it comes to mixing up with the trash. He didn't like, but it was even worse sometimes last year. He just didn't want nothing to do with that leaning in with that shoulder or that arm per se, because he was playing with one arm, and it was just uncharacteristic in the sense of even when he was healthy, even though it wasn't his best trait, he still put the effort. Yeah. He still put the effort there, and when you watch some of those games specifically, man, that Vikings game was tough. It was tough to watch him and Jalen, if you want to be honest, and it didn't help that our defensive tackles didn't give them help. There was too many times we had an offensive lineman get into the second level too cleanly. And those guys aren't thumpers.
Billy Collins.
Yeah, those guys aren't thumpers. So until I see LVE play bad or consistently bad because he's unhealthy, and I'm going to ride with that. He's fine. And once he gets back out there, he's going to be LVE, you know? So that's how I see it. That's why I'm not worried about the linebacker position until it gives me a reason to be worried. And I'm not going to be worried off of 1 year, one injury prone year.
Come on to the show, LVE. I know you listen. Come on out to the show.
So does that help you? Do we give you an answer?
Hey, that was good. That was good. That was great announcement. Once again, you guys bring it. Forget the 3 and the 4-letter network. This is where we get our content. The two things before we go. One thing I say is how far and how vast the reach is of this platform. You guys are the Dallas Cowboys YouTube commentator all star. If this content on the Cowboys, it is y'all we come to the big game. You know what I'm saying? Law. You know what I'm saying? All you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, we come to you guys first. So when y'all talk about this flag football thing, you know y'all just signed up for tour dates, right? Because it's going to be too big to have it in one city.
I'm with it, man.
It's going to be too big. Y'all going to have to have one in Ohio. Y'all going to have to have one in Philly. You got to have extra security in Philly. Y'all going to have to swing through the East Coast and Southeast Coast and Carolina area. Then y'all got to come home to the Lone Star State.
We talking about a travel league.
Make a stop at Oxnard too. You know
I'm with it, man.
So,
listen.
Y'all get ready for that because he's gonna demand it. I'm telling you why. You know what I'm saying? $25.
Speak it into existence, big dog.
$150 a team. You know what I'm saying? Like generate serious money. And I'm a public school teacher hype. You know what I'm saying? So I can already be like, man, y'all can donate here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all figure that out. But that's gonna be good. The last thing before I go, our guy, man. What's your over-under on him getting 800 yards this season? Over-under.
You said CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Over-under. All right, we'll answer that off the phone here.
Got you. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all.
Love you too, man. Appreciate
you. Too, man.
Oh, he beat us to it. Love you too.
He beat us. He said it quick.
He beat you, James. He beat
me. I beat y'all earlier today, though.
Yeah, you did.
CeeDee Lamb, over under 800. That's a good number because of Cobb. I'm gonna go over.
Over 800.
Yep.
800.
800.
Oh my goodness. My thing is anything Cobb did, TD can do better.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Better. My thing is I want him to eat, but I also want the other kid, number 89, for your mind to eat. I want Jarwin to eat. And I think that those two working together from the interior side of the route combinations, I think that both of them would eat. So maybe if his numbers drop, it will be because of Jarwin,
That's
if I can,
that's a
put
good.
that into
See,
perspective.
that's something that I have to think about though, is that I think Blake Jarwin could be a interesting part of the offense, and that could take away a little bit from CeeDee Lamb because Jason Witten is just different. Like Jason Witten, I don't know if he would have been featured with Mike McCarthy as much as I believe personally that Blake Jarwin can be featured. So
yeah,
ain't nobody fishing no damn Jason Witten.
He runs a route concept, 6 yards, turn around, drop.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on you, Jason, but I'm just so glad that is over with. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just tired of that foolishness.
APJ, you did miss Danny. Run it back, APJ.
Run it
That's
back.
the beauty of this thing. You can always run it back. Oh, yeah. And you miss some fire.
Hey, Scott.
What up?
I'm looking on Twitter, and I got Vach all riled up. He retweeted my thing. He said, "Who else want to do this? Watch ready. I got it. I got him."
I think
going.
E2 Blue, if you still in here, so you got E2 Blue.
E2 Blue want
All
that.
right,
He want
get
that
your
action
all-star team. Is it a team of 7?
I don't know.
Get your
We got to
all-star
put
We
this
can
thing
do however
together.
we want to do it.
Versus
Et Blue got about that life too. So, and I heard a few other people. Your boy jumped in it too. Sky
Who that?
Cabo.
Oh yeah, he
Cabo?
played. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
Jay
want to
Tuck.
get all that action.
Yeah, boss cowboy. We
Shit,
get them all up.
Y'all
in
ain't
there.
even going to need me. I just coach.
No, you bringing your ass on that field.
I told you I got about to get
Don't you
quality.
run.
I can't wait to get out there.
My
to
old
do
ass gonna be out there. Your young ass gonna be out there.
I can't wait to do a
Man,
breakdown
listen,
on
I got
my
Miles
set
Austin
on how
hamstring,
I
man.
annihilated somebody's ankle out there. Boy, this is gonna be crazy.
Y'all gonna be mad when y'all be like, get this Lance Dunbar, Miles Austin ass dude up out of here. Yeah, man. I
can't do it, dog. First play my ankle, man.
I'm gonna hit you with the Matt Johnson. I get a pick in preseason, then I'm
Oh
gone.
Lord, man.
Shout out to Matt Johnson.
Now you shout out to Matt Johnson.
the
Them
first
damn-
Jeff Heath.
Hey, listen.
The first Jeff Heath.
He had them hamstrings. Remember when he got what is the interception he got? It was against Oakland.
Yeah, first
Was
Miles,
against
yeah.
Oakland Sky in that preseason game, and then he
Oh,
hurt his ankle right after
Honestly,
he intercepted the ball was out.
Was it even in the damn game or was it practice? Because this dude Matt Johnson.
No, it was in the game.
Okay,
This is the game.
I know
It
he
was a
barely.
preseason game. He had the interception, and then he tweaked his ankle, and I said, "Oh no."
He said Law's beard's gonna get caught in the gloves Velcro strap.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
He go, Law gonna be QB.
QB.
He's gonna be doing the Dak Prescott. He's gonna be doing the Dak
180.
Prescott. He's gonna be doing that. Law gonna be doing the Dak Prescott.
870. What's up, man? You on the show?
Kill. Oh, my bad.
870. You there?
How you? Hi.
Man.
What's going on?
How
870.
you guys
All
doing
these
today?
deep voices around
Let me
here,
tell you,
man.
Voices
let me
up
tell
in
you
this
something.
piece today.
870.
Hello,
Your voice is. Hey, Law, you got some competition, bro.
man.
That's a
on.
voice.
That's a voice right there. What's up,
Man,
man?
you
What's
got a
your name?
radio voice, bro. Radio voice.
Thanks. What I'm calling about, I was just wondering, with the new coaching staff, you think they're going to change Dak's drop back? I mean, he had a different one last year. You think they're going to change that a little, or will they keep it the same?
Is it Doug Nussmeier or Nuss?
Doug
We'll
Nussmeier.
call him Nuss. So Nuss is the quarterback's coach now. And he was here with Kellen Moore. So we got Kellen Moore, you got Doug Nuss, and he's still working with John Kitna. So I don't really foresee much of anything change in regards to technique with Dak Prescott. That's just my
If
opinion.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I don't see it changing.
The
Yeah,
thing
that's
is
right.
with Dak
Yeah.
Prescott was getting the ball out quick and being a little bit more elusive as it relates to his with 3-step drop and snap. That's why he do the Dak Prescott snap warm up to get his lower body together. He got, believe it or not,
yeah.
Dak Prescott big legs. You hate to say it like that, but he got big legs. But it takes Collinsworth.
He's a strong
It takes
boy.
Collinsworth.
Yeah,
Chris
he-
Collinsworth, he'll break it down, about the legs. And that could be a detriment to Dak. So he got to stay elusive and he got to
He
stay.
said he got big legs.
He got big legs, man.
Bro, I'm glad for that box, man.
Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session.
Time out. I just got, sir, what's your name, sir?
Cecil Cox.
Oh, and his name, Dog.
Cecil. Yeah, you a big
sound
dude,
like
bro.
Cecil.
You played for the Philadelphia Eagles, didn't you?
Listen, I gotta ask you.
Oh no! I'm
He
a
played
diehard.
so. College, you
diehard.
related. You played football
Hey,
for somebody, man.
Cecil,
Yeah, that's
did
James
you ever?
Earl.
No.
Yeah, Cecil,
No,
you seen Coming to America,
What's that?
right? You seen Coming to America?
oh yeah.
My
Oh
boy,
yeah.
My boy Voch wants you to say. He said, "Can he ask the caller to say my son works?"
What my son works? What is this? Go to the Waldorf Astoria and bathe
Let
in
him say,
thoroughly.
let them
Oh my
wait.
gosh.
Let them wait.
Yo,
Yeah,
you.
let them wait, huh?
Boy, you
You
killing me.
sound like. Oh my God, you sound like James Earl
Say-
Jones.
You
say-
sound just like him. bro.
Say
sound
this
like
right
you.
here.
Oh, I do? Oh,
Simba.
okay.
Say Simba. You deliberately disobeyed me.
Simba.
Hey, Lord,
Simba, you have disobeyed me.
oh man.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's get you a job.
Yeah, we
Can we get you a job doing voiceovers?
We gonna have to hit Cecil up for some drops, fam.
You're right.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like a winner.
Yeah, man. Great call, Cecil.
Isaac
Appreciate
Hayes,
you.
Hey, we appreciate you, big dog.
All right. Take care of yourselves now.
Thanks,
Bye-bye
sir.
now.
Hey,
Have a good
take
one.
care.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
That was a
fun,
good
man.
call right there.
Yeah, that was fun. Voch is a
That was a good
fool,
call.
though.
Voch is wild, man.
But no, yeah, that's a good
Joffy,
question. That's a good question about the him changing his technique or his drop back. But when you think about who we have on the team, still, I can't really see that changing, man. And he's still working with. That's a beautiful news, man. He's still working with Kitna.
Who we trying to get on?
Actually, I think I'm gonna reach back out to PT and see if he got some insight on him talking to Kitna or working with Kitna. So,
because Kitna bagged on here. Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Kitna's
yo,
a
wow,
cool
man.
ass dude.
Dak Attack said, yo, how we feeling tonight? We feeling great, fam.
We feeling
Feeling great. That's sauce.
Yeah, man.
We
it's
had
been
James
amazing.
Earl to call in. We had man, we had some people to call in. Back to
Indeed.
back.
Indeed, this has been great, man.
We'll be coming to an end soon.
Wait a minute, Sosa talking a little trash. Okay, Sosa.
Sosa trying to play some football?
Yeah, I don't know. We gonna talk to him off air, but he's.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk to Sosa.
Look like he talking a little something.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah,
Get
man.
on out there, Sosa. I'll
man,
get you too. I love you, but I'll get you.
You show up that work, huh? That work action.
Now I'm talking all this trash. I gotta get in that gym.
Yeah, you talking all.
I'm talking a lot of trash. I gotta get in this gym. I put a bullseye on my ass.
I kept it a bean. I told y'all straight up. I listen, man. I got a good Matt Johnson for you.
Yeah, they're coming after me.
That
That's
Miles
all good.
Austin. I'm gonna
This
start.
707 is brought to you by Steel Reserve.
Look, hey. As soon as I get near the field, they be like, "There you go,
Steel Reserve,
there
baby.
you go, Steel Reserve." Oh, hey, ain't no reserve. I'm gonna stay off that.
We got West Palm Beach 561 5.
Ooh, that's Palm Beach. That's
6,
beautiful
1.
out there.
Yeah,
They
how
got
y'all doing down there? 561. What's up?
Oh, what's happening, Skywalker, man? This is Jake the Great, man. How y'all feeling?
Hey,
The
we
great.
good.
Hey, what's up, big dog?
Yeah, killer, man. I missed this show, man. I just parked my truck. I'm like, damn, man. I don't miss the whole day show. So I just want to call in,
it
man.
back.
Yep. Huh?
Run it back.
Run it back.
Man, bro, you guys don't understand, man. I'll wait for you guys to open the phone line because what you guys do is so special, man. You guys give the Cowboys community just an opportunity to voice their opinion and, rant sometimes, I just want to say, I appreciate that, man. You guys don't know what you guys mean to the community, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do have a little quick point. It might sound kind of weird, being the fact that we give them second chances, man. Would you guys be willing to give David Irving a second chance?
Oh, James knows something about that.
I mean, my guy is training him right
Put it
now.
out there that
Yeah,
quick,
James,
but
go ahead.
James.
Like I know they say, oh, he didn't love football and playing for the Teals, but what if he gets reinstated? Would you be willing? He hasn't changed your heart. That's all I got for today, man. And just go back and enjoy the show.
Appreciate you, man.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you right now, big dog, that ship has sailed. When I interviewed Brandon Tucker, he's actually training Alden Smith, he's training Randy Gregory, and he's training David Irvin. And David Irvin is trying to make his way back into the league. And from what he was telling me was that he could possibly be going to those Raiders.
That makes
more
sense.
than anybody else.
Right.
It makes more
Because
sense.
Rob Marinelli,
Right.
Rob Marinelli's always loved him. And I asked him personally, I said, so what, do you think David Irvin has a chance in Dallas? He said, no. He said, it's over. That's not happening any longer. So there's your answer on that front.
Yeah. So anybody like the Raiders, man? James just gave y'all a good plug there.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Even though Jason Garrett's gone, just look at what they invested at defensive tackle. Poe, 2-year deal. McCoy, 3-year deal. 3rd-round pick on Neville Gallimore, who actually was a 2nd-round grade. They have Tristan Hill, who's a 2nd-round pick from last year. Granted, we all believe David Irvin can come right in here and be a beast, right? But when you invest that type of capital and money into that position, it's pretty much written on the wall that, hey, man, we're not going to bring in a guy like that's already had a stint with this team. And, with
It's too much like Wright, too. It's just too much like Wright if you bring that guy in. And if he had all his affairs in order, it would just be too much like Wright, right?
Like Wright?
Right. How can you stop that, though? If you really think about it, him playing in the interior and you still have an Alden on the outside. Just rotation.
I wouldn't put him
thing in there.
I wouldn't put him in there then. If you bring him in with this team, I slap him right on the outside of. And I know it's funny because if you listen to me, if you listen to me, I'm all about a speed rusher at the right defense end. I'm all about it. Yeah. But man,
he got crazy power though.
I've seen David Irving have immense success at defensive end as well.
Yeah, he's nice at the end, but I'm putting that big motherfucker at tackle. And
over
having
who,
like,
though?
John,
He 310, 315 at times.
6'7", 320. Man, who ain't
and
he?
he's tall.
He can't.
Passing
that
lane
talent, he
done.
can't start over Gerald McCoy. You can mix and match the Gerald McCoy. David Irving without the head case is a ridiculous talent.
If you're talking about David Irving 3 years ago with no problems playing 16 games a year, sure. But we're talking about David Irving that hasn't played in 2.5 seasons. That is a head case.
You're talking about Alden Smith, though, who ain't played in 5, and you hyped about him.
I ain't saying what are you talking about? You're talking about an entirely different scenario. I'm not saying I wouldn't be hyped to have David Irving. I'm talking about starting him over Gerald McCoy.
No. I'm saying
I'm
not saying not starting.
That's what you said. You said I was starting over Gerald.
Did I say start?
You did,
okay,
bro.
Bad.
That's all I'm saying.
My bad.
I wouldn't start him.
I'm looking for like 15 to maybe 20 snaps. Anytime you got a guy that can pull a stop sign out of the ground. When he was in college, man, David Irving's is like crazy strength.
If we're going off of the scenario that James said, where you're clean head, no issues and all that stuff, David Irving could fit on this D line anywhere, and that's why I say I would plug him. I would plug him opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence because I'm telling you, McCoy still got it. Poe is your prototypical one-tech type guy, 6'3", 346, athletic freak. You know what I'm saying? Where do we have the most uncertainty at? Oppo D-Law. You run out there, Poe, McCoy, Irving that's in his right mind and in his physical prime, and D-Law, oh my God. That's
Woods
going in the middle.
Woods or Irving?
Who?
Antoine Woods or Irving?
Lost.
Or I'm sorry, Irving.
Antoine Barbecue Woods? Come on, Law. He barely making the squad right now.
No disrespect to Antoine Woods, but
shout out to Antoine Woods.
David Irving.
Don't listen to this, Antoine, because he go hard in the paint. He gutter. So
if David Irving was in his right mind,
yeah, he could.
If David Irving was in his right mind, and he didn't miss any time, we wouldn't have went out and signed. Oh, look at all those bars! Whoa,
oh, boy, the bars! Right mind for him.
But no, we wouldn't have signed Gerald McCoy. Right? We wouldn't have signed.
You can't trust a man with a nipple ring. That's what Reddy Red said.
But now he can blaze and still get out there. That's the amazing.
Right.
Now he can blaze, so he'll
plants
always
over
be
pills.
I think we got
plants over pills.
I think we got a 956 on the line. What up, 956?
Mm-hmm.
Late Night Hype, how you doing? Skywalker,
James,
La Nation, saludos.
The lunatic in the house.
We can't end the show.
As always, it was a great interview tonight. Listen, I want to take it a little bit here. Tyron Smith has missed 3 games, I think, in the last 3 seasons. How do you feel about his backup, Brandon Knight, there? Capable, but again, you got to go with your coaching. I know they're not going to ask him to be on an island. I think the coaching staff will say, hey, you know what? We're going to help you. We're going to run to you that way. So I'm not too concerned about that. But what if, I mean, knock on wood, injuries are the only thing I can think are going to derail us this year. What if he misses more than 3 games? How confident are you on that? And the second thing, we brought in Bones. Last year's special teams coach went to the scouting department, but we still have Chris Jones, the punter, who's been bad for 2 years. When do you think they're going to bring somebody in to bring in some competition for the punter? I'll let you guys answer offline. And again, keep up the great job. It was great interview, and I can't wait for Wednesday also. And Tuesday for Brian, yeah.
I like you, the lunatic.
Well,
I love you,
first.
Huh?
He didn't even skip right over Tuesday.
You said forget all about Brian Brothers, huh?
The football.
Yeah.
All right, lunatic.
I can't wait for Brian, but I'm looking forward to Wednesday also.
My dog. That's my dog.
Hey, great question, lunatic. We're going to answer them for you. All right?
Hell no,
right,
John Matthews.
All right, man.
Hell no, Holcomb, no damn Cam Irvin. Hell no.
No. I got an unpopular opinion with this.
Which
with
one?
This situation.
Which
with the first question and with the Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
I would do this, and let me just say this. and I'm prefacing my
told you
statement.
about him.
I would be with the belief to get the most reps possible for Connor Williams at that spot.
Man,
I think that due to the structure of this offensive line, we got a Connor McGovern, we got the other kid Tyler Biadasz, and we got this other. Of course, we got Looney, we got of course the Lyle Collins, and we got good old Zach Martin. I think that it's now time to release the fact that. How many sacks this guy gave up in college? Not a lot. It was only to Dorrance Armstrong, right? At that position, big game, James. You followed the tech.
Talking about Connor Williams?
Connor Williams.
I mean, left tackle was
quick.
the spot.
He's quick. He's not as strong as the other guys, but I think that he will win off the quickness aspects. He got short arms, but I think that Connor Williams will fit perfect for the grooming and the growth factor to be Tyron Smith's long-term replacement down the line. Let me know where
we shall see.
Opinion.
No,
we shall see.
It's unpopular.
That's not unpopular, man. We were talking about that a lot here on this show. I think.
Oh, my bad.
No, well, I'm talking about us. Like we talked about it, but maybe it's not popular to the outside world. I don't know.
Right.
But
a lot of people want that.
I listen. I think that's the move. I think Connor Williams is not a guard, guys. Like, did he improve?
Exactly.
Sure, he improved, but his improvement was still suspect. That's
he's just not strong enough to hold that point.
He's not good inside of a phone booth. He's not. Mm-hmm. You got to get him on. I hate to say on the island, but get him in a little bit of space where he's got more room to operate because he is athletic. Like Connor is athletic, but he ain't a brute. That boy Connor McGovern, that's country strong, interior offensive lineman. Joe Looney has experience there, and Tyler Biadasz has experience there. So I think you got your 3 interior guys. I do. And Connor should start getting groomed to be left tackle. But to answer Lunatic's question, I am not confident of Cam Irving. And I know Brandon Knight looked good, but give me another year of Brandon Knight grooming. That's all. Like, I don't want to see Brandon step right in and be the starting left tackle right now.
I like Brandon because when we have, I'm going to ask Brian Broader to this. That's one of my first things I'm coming at his neck with that Brandon Knight because he was talking about Brandon Knight and the team really loved Brandon Knight and he likes Brandon Knight. But he said he strictly likes him at the right tackle position because when Lyle Collins went out, that's what he played against the Vikings and I believe the Jets, and he played very admirably. So he said he doesn't like the switching back and forth. So I will agree with y'all in the fact of Williams should be the left tackle, the backup. And like you said, Tyron Smith is 29, okay? And he's guaranteed the last 4 years he's missed 3 games a year.
He's going to miss games. It's guaranteed he's going to miss 2 or 3 games. That's just going to happen.
Yeah. So we want Connor McGovern to step up and take that guard position. We want Looney or the Tyler Biadasz to look at that center. And then, yes, sounds great as your left tackle, backup, Connor Williams. Your right tackle goes down, Lyle Collins, Brandon Knight. That's my opinion right there.
There you go.
Listen, I think that would be great. I think the best case scenario for the Cowboys is Biadasz beats out Looney, McGovern beats out Connor Williams. Now you have an amazing backup in Looney at center, and you have who can play both. He can play guard, he can play center, and then you have a swing, really a utility player in Connor Williams in the sense of, sure, I'm not in love with him at guard, but if you need him to play it, he's shown that he could play it, and your offense can still function, but he can't play it at this super high level. But you have your swing tackle, but also a guy who can play it across the line, most likely, if you need him to. So I think if they go that route, I feel much better. But if they're really counting on Cam Irving to be the swing tackle,
please, God, I'm going to throw up.
I've got my...
But he plays with a little grit, though.
He's trash.
You know what's funny? I went to the game where him and David Irving
got
into that fight in Cleveland. At literally the first possession, I think the Browns were driving down and kicked the field goal, and they start fighting. And in my opinion, in my head, I'm like, "Are you kidding me? We about to lose to the Browns?" Like that's how I felt. I mean, they drove down the field. David Irving gets kicked out. They're fighting, but then we whooped that ass. And honestly, it was like Cowboys fans took over that damn stadium. So that's what I think about. Cleveland? Yeah, that's what, it was crazy.
Oh
David Hellman.
It was a crazy game for Jason Witten. I think he scored like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was wide open a lot
on that game.
Yeah, David Hellman was like he's never seen that type of takeover. And when you think about it, they were 0-11. And the reason why I got those tickets is because they were selling them for dirt cheap. Like Cleveland fans ain't want them. They didn't want to go see them.
And
so
plus,
said,
that was Ezekiel's rookie year playing at Ohio State, coming back to Ohio. That was huge.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy though, fam? I decided, here's the dumb shit. I couldn't find the tickets I wanted for the Steelers game, so I said I'm gonna go to this Cleveland game. Then the Steelers game happened, and it was the best goddamn game of the year.
Oh my gosh, that was Scott,
all the way to the end.
I should just do a DDT on you right now.
I know. I was pretty pissed about that.
That was a classic.
I was pretty pissed about that. And I went to school near Pittsburgh, so tons of friends up there, tons of Steelers fans. I would have been in that.
They was letting you know, huh?
I would have been in that thing going crazy, fam.
And that's what that was when I really knew that, man, Dak Prescott got it.
Yes,
he got it. That was the game. That was the game. He went toe to toe with Big. And
because remember, Law, they were talking about Romo coming back in that game. Remember that was the big controversy because Romo was healthy enough to come back, and they didn't let him play.
Yeah, and they panned to the sideline when Dak Prescott connected with Dez Bryant, and they panned to the sideline, and Dak and Tony Romo was like, "That's a dime."
Yeah. After that game, Tony. In fact, isn't that the time Tony came out and did a speech? Wasn't that after that game?
Right after that Pittsburgh game. Yep.
Tony said,
like, "Okay, you got it.
That's it.
You got the juice."
He said, "That's a dime."
That's it.
And Dez was playing for his father because I think he passed away.
Yes, he did pass away
that week, I think.
Yeah, unbelievable game, man. That was the best game of the year from any team, from any. It doesn't matter. That game was amazing.
You can play that game right now, and everybody's gonna watch that shit.
Yeah. It's still man. Give me chills thinking about it. Give me chills thinking about it, man. I mean, that final drive. What'd you say?
I say you showing that old ass.
I'm showing it down. Hey, this will be the last call tonight, man.
It sure is because I'm tired.
973, what up, man?
Donations came in. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, real quick, real quick, 973. Hold on. Give me 1 second because I got to shout this out. B-Bird gave us a $5 donation, and he said, appreciate y'all for giving the people that can talk Cowboys all day, every day, a place to come and share. Thank you, B-Bird. And absolutely right, man. Thank you as well, Skeptical. But that's what we're trying to do here, and that's why we got 973 on the line, man. What's up?
I know y'all not trying to have a football game and not include me.
Who this?
This Hulk, baby.
Oh!
You're on my team.
The only... go, man.
You're on my team, dog.
Hey,
already
like when you playing Madden back in the days, and you said, "Man, you can't play with Atlanta." You know,
I'm playing with him. I already picked him.
You can't play with Hulk, man.
No, Hulk is the player that you create. You created Hulk. You know what I'm saying? He's the 99 guy.
Hey, I just need Scott to get a picture of him and put it on here because we can talk noise to Hulk over the phone, but nobody in life would talk noise to Hulk.
I told you, there's certain people
you got to pop the
bodyguard. You got certain people you got to pop the trunk.
Nah, that's why I said. You heard it when we said about Crawford. Crawford want to be about that life. I got somebody for you, big dog.
Right here for you.
but Hulk, I'm not gonna fold like a wallet. If I ever get into that situation with you, I might get you a few times until y'all hear this. That means he don't grab me.
I'm just gonna say I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
I ain't scared of you, mother.
Hey, when I saw Hulk, he was on my timeline on my Facebook page. I said, "Yeah."
Nah, you seen that big mutt sucker, bitching 400 and shit.
Where you located at, Hulk?
I'm in Jersey.
So you got so if we do the Philly game, then you got to come around Philly.
Yeah, you got to come on down.
And don't forget what we talked about, Hulk. You better get on your body stuff. That stuff we talked about. You better get on it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I heard you, man. I ain't gonna let you down, bro.
Okay, I appreciate you.
But real quick question though. So with all the Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, all them, Blake Jarwin, and all these passing attack dudes, how do you guys see us being able to incorporate Zeke and Tony Pollard in the passing game? How, with all those guys on the field, how can we get them involved?
I love that question. Y'all go ahead because I got Zeke people gonna be mad at me. So y'all go ahead.
22 personnel. You got 21 personnel. You will see more of those formations. We saw some of it, just a scheme or a glimpse of it last year. When they did have those multiple weapons with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott out there in the field at the same time.
Yeah, like 3 times.
Yeah, they ran from it.
Yeah, Jason Garrett
brought it into that. Craziest thing of it all, it worked.
The only time I want to see Ezekiel Elliott getting a pass is a screen pass. He ain't no threat to me in no passing game. Let's throw it to little screen passes. Now you get Tony Pollard involved because you can use him in all kind of levels. So I think Tony Pollard is going to get that ball, but please just give that ball to Zeke and run it or do a screen pass. Stop trying to make Zeke like he's a Le'Veon Bell because he's not.
Zeke's hands are so suspect.
Even though Zeke since he's been in the league, he's had a few passes that he's caught. I think he caught one last season against Detroit.
That Detroit was dope.
Let me break it down to you. I can recall this like the back of my hand. It was the Jets game that Ezekiel Elliott caught a nice pass. You would sit there.
He also dropped one in the Jets game, but go ahead.
He dropped one.
Yep.
But the Jets game, I think that Ezekiel, the way he runs, he's boxy a little bit. He's not a shifty guy. I would pass more vertical passes to Zeke. I wouldn't pass those little Le'Veon Bell type of cross the slants and stuff like that. That would be more of the Tony Pollard per se, But they got to figure out ways to utilize Ezekiel Elliott, maybe on a wheel route or a vertical route. Those are the two passes that I would pass to Ezekiel.
I do like the wheel route concept. I do like that. But far too many times last year, I just saw Ezekiel Elliott fighting the ball. He's not a natural pass catcher. Can he catch it? Obviously. Can he have 70 receptions, I think, 2 years ago? Something like
77 to be
exact.
So,
and that's when we didn't have much. We didn't have Coop for a long time. So Zeke was our passing game. But I just don't I don't think he's a natural pass catcher. And I hate to come at him because he can do it, but he doesn't scare me doing it unless it's a screen, right? But for me, I would deploy Tony Pollard in the passing game. I don't care if you think it's a tell. Because here's why. He's not Lance Dunbar. Where when Lance came in the game, you knew Lance Dunbar was getting a pass. But Pollard can legitimately run the rock. Like, I hate that I've seen people say, move Tony Pollard to slot. Why? So we can be depleted behind Zeke? Like, you're going to, essentially not draft CeeDee Lamb to move Tony Pollard to slot? Makes no sense. Yeah. Where you can use Tony Pollard as a mismatch weapon with Zeke. You can take out Blake Jarwin, right? And you can legitimately have out there Zeke, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, 19 Coop, and Michael Gallup. What the hell? What the no? I'm saying take out Jarwin and put Pollard. What the hell as a defense do you have no idea what's coming? No idea. So I think we should use Tony Pollard more in the passing game than Zeke. But, Zeke should be more of a product of, okay, check down, boom, he's there, as opposed to game planning, getting him the rock in the pass game. Because what did we see over the last 3 years, Hawk? They motioned him out there, and what does he do? He takes one step off the damn line.
Comes back.
And either he comes back or he's just a decoy. So what the hell is the point?
Yeah. Right.
To see who's going to trail and follow. To see who's going to
put somebody out there that legitimately could be a threat that you're going to throw the ball to if you put the running back. Look, I'm watching a play right now. Zeke literally just turned around and looked at Zach like, look at Dak like, hey, throw me the ball. Like, that's trash, fam. Put somebody in there that can run a legitimate route and can be a legitimate threat in the pass game when he's out wide. And I'm not trying to knock Zeke, but take it how you want.
Yeah, that Vikings game was crazy. I know what you're talking about, that 3rd and 1, they were 3rd and whatever, and they gave the ball to Zeke. Well, they try to pass it to him.
Oh, the 4th down play. I mean,
4th down play, yeah.
Man, yeah. That's a whole nother. Great question, though.
Don't remind me of that play.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, I love you. Good stuff. Good show tonight, man. I'm looking forward to the rest, man.
Appreciate it, man. Love
Appreciate
you too,
big dog.
Love
you, man.
Hey, that's a
he beat us to the punch again.
That's a perfect last call.
Yeah. Hey, but we still got to answer the lunatic's question on the punter.
Yeah.
Oh,
forgot about that. Just go get my boy was Marquette King.
Yeah, Marquette King.
Remember what we talked about, remember what we talked about, fellas, and remember when we talked with Jesse Holly, a lot of the other guys, they were excited about him keeping Jones because Jones had the groin injury, and just like those guys were saying, have you ever had a groin injury and you're a punter? It's like one of the worst things in the world. So let's get him healthy, and then now you got a fossil who is very creative in the special teams game, and we know Chris Jones is athletic. That's one of the things that he loves. He loves having an athletic type punter because he can do trick plays. We've seen Chris Jones run. And we've seen him throw that ball. He's athletic. Yep. So let's get him healthy, and I think he can bounce back with a new guy over top of him.
I think that's why we haven't signed one. I think Bones looked at Chris Jones's tape and said, I like this guy. And looked at his background. People don't realize Chris Jones is legitimately an athlete. I think he played basketball. I believe he was a quarterback or something in college or something like that. So he has legitimate athletic background. And I used to love Chris Jones before he got hurt. We called him the Punisher back when I was doing my 2 Point Cowboys podcast in 2017. He was the Punisher for us. And he had a great game against Detroit, great game against the Eagles, great game against the I believe it was the Raiders. Where
he can run that damn ball in them fakes too.
Dog.
He can run them ball in them damn fakes. He be gone.
Hey, he faster than Jason Witten by a mile. That's sad. That's sad.
But we just got to see it, out here
healthy.
what he's going to do. I think that they will still bring in competition. I like the Renfro kid last year that was punting out there, but we will see though. We will see what Chris Jones can do, and we just got to put a placeholder on anything as relates to special teams because where we was ranked at last year,
we can't get much worse in the last 10 years.
Trash.
Can we get worse now, y'all? I
don't think always get worse.
But I doubt it on the fossil though. I doubt it on the bones,
Trash.
All right, man.
All right, folks. I'm sleepy, man.
Yeah.
Man, I'm still rolling.
And let me give a shout out to all of the people, man, that supported.
Yeah, man. This chat was bomb
over here. Shout out to Barnett, man, for joining the membership squad. Justin D.
We gotta talk about the membership.
Mims, Jake the Great, Eric Freeman. I really appreciate everybody who made the donation to help grow the nation. Thank those who supported as well with the Cash App and the PayPal. My heart goes out to you all, man, to help us grow this thing. And one day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick, man, we stacking this thing. And just wait, man. We got some better and new things that's going to come around the corner, like merch and a whole bunch of other stuff, man. So y'all just wait for it.
Why don't you ever let me go before you?
Oh, I didn't know there was a closing speech.
No, it ain't closing, but I got to go before you because you're good.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to give a shout out to my mods, all the mods out there on both sides. And also Miss Sheila Neal, if you out there, I need to holler at you because I need to get you on my thing. So make sure you holler at me, Miss Sheila. But let me give a shout out to Drake the Great for the donation, King J, The Lunatic, John Jones, Nicholas Mims, I Am Sheepdog 45, Coach D, Charlie Bridges, The Lunatic again, Todd McGowan, Juwan James. I appreciate all y'all, and I appreciate all my members that was in deep in the feed. I love y'all all, and let's continue to make this damn thing great, man.
Indeed, man. Shout out to all the donations.
LeBron James for a second. I was like, what?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Shout out to definitely, man, the chat across the whole. I see everybody's.
Metro Boomin on the road.
Specifically mine. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been in here deep the whole entire time. And just in general, the whole entire chat across all panels has been booming. The donations have been popping. The support has been popping. And members, remember, we'll have the behind the scenes for all of our guests. We already dropped, I believe, was it Worley? Not Worley. Who was it? I keep losing track.
Cedrick and
Cedrick Wilson
Teague.
and George Teague, and then we'll have Danny, and then Brian, and then Brianna, Batee, I think that's how you say it. So make sure you guys, if you want to join the membership, you go on our pages and you can figure out how to do that on our main homepage.
The memberships on that membership,
or hit up the link, because we're doing some special things.
Make it worth it for you.
Indeed, man, absolutely, indeed. But also, we're gonna talk about this flag football.
I'm ready. I'm getting in the
gym. You and Voch got me hyped.
I told you.
Yeah,
I told you it's going to be a great thing. Tom Downey just tweeted on there. He wants to jump. I mean, we're getting a lot of feedback from this.
Is he refereeing?
Man, I'm gonna change up the game.
He said he got one play.
KMT, reach out to Dez and tell him to join on Law Nation team. I want Dez on my team.
Ice water. Listen.
KMT 72. Reach out to Dez.
If we really do this right, we video it, and like I said, we donate this for charity. We find a charity that we all kind of
You know what? Who did we have on that had a charity? Jesse. Let's holler at Jesse, bro.
Jesse,
because Jesse, I love Jesse's Holly's Helping Hands.
Yes,
we could wrap. I'm a matter of fact, we gonna hit him up after this.
And get PT. He probably.
I think he has a charity, and so they could be like the head coaches.
Oak Cliff,
You know how they do the celebrity head coaches. So you can get PT, you can get Jesse, and then the proceeds go to they're the charities that we represent. And it'd be awesome, man. And what we can do is, even if we don't have enough of the YouTubers to play, we can get media people involved down in Dallas if we do it in Dallas, right? So like you said, the Tom Downings, we can get Bree, we can get Danny if they're still in their athletic, stage, and anybody else that's in that media covering the Cowboys or sports down there. That'd be awesome, man.
Hey, Sky, when I made that post, Kavanaugh said, I don't know if I'm in the underground group. He said, but you don't want no part of this, Jay.
Oh, they really
y'all said I didn't want no part of it. Jeff said I didn't want no part of it. I said, man, you better bring it. So get Jeff on out there because he was a receiver. I was a corner. Yeah. You already called it. You listen to this, Jeff. I'm talking to you too, Hefre.
Studio Day Hefre. I love when he says that. Oh, yeah. So I didn't even think about Jeff. So Jeff, too. Yeah, we could really do something cool, man. We'll talk about this. We're going to build this up. We're going to build this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, guys. I gotta. If we don't play it.
Yeah.
If we don't play it, we ain't going nowhere.
We're not going anywhere. But
Tuesday.
It's over.
Brian Broaddus. Brian Broaddus will be in the building, guys. Make sure you keep on supporting and sharing this content. Listen, I'm speechless when it comes to how this thing is rolling. It's been an amazing ride, and it's just starting, fam. So make sure you lock in Tuesday for Brian Broaddus, y'all. We love you.
Love y'all.
Peace.